That is not played all this way round.
We turned in 10, didn't we?
Yeah, 2019 was the last one.
Let's have a look, mate. Might as well find out for real. Just for completeness, Neil, just for completeness.
It's a 6. While the batting team is scoring runs, the bowling team are trying to stop them and get the batters out by taking wickets. A few ways batters can be out are bowled, caught, run out, stumped, and LBW. Watch out for signals from the umpires, 4s, 6s, wickets, and these when a bad delivery has been bowled. Bad deliveries add runs to the batting team's score, and the bowler must bowl an extra ball. If you see the umpire doing this, the next ball is a free hit, and the batter cannot be out, bowled, caught, LBW, or stumped. And those are all the basics you need to know to get behind your team in this year's Vitality Blast competition.
And as we count down the final few minutes until we welcome the players, we'd like to remind all spectators that we stand against all forms of discrimination, and there is no place for it in our sport. We will embrace and celebrate differences everywhere, knowing that with diversity we are stronger. We are dedicated to raising the game, so if you witness it, challenge it and call it out. Here at Derbyshire you can do that by reporting by email to edi@derbyshirecccc.com or speak to your nearest steward. There's just 10 minutes to go, so take your seats and get ready for the action. It's also time for a couple of special welcomes to this evening's Vitality Blast cricket. Firstly to James Jordison, who's 14 today. So happy birthday to James from your friend Charlie and all of us here at Derbyshire County Cricket Club. Let's hope the Falcons can get that win for you this evening. Also joining us this evening as our very special guests are the Johnson family. George Johnson with stepsister Beatrice are Derbyshire Falcons super fans. 12-year-old George has cerebral palsy and is blind. Does not let this get in the way of his love of being outside. And tonight, we are delighted to welcome George, Beatrice and their family to the Incora County Ground to meet the players and enjoy a night of T20 action. So please, Incora County Ground, give a very warm Derbyshire Falcons welcome to our special guest this evening, George, Beatrice and the Johnson family. And we are now just moments away from you meeting your teams. Are you ready for blast-off?
comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say it's alright. Little darling, the smile returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, I say it's alright.
The players are ready, and this is now your countdown to blast off. It's time to get ready and make some noise for the Falcons. Please give a big cheer to juniors from South Wingfield Cricket Club and Brelsford Cricket Club who are performing this evening's Guard of Honour. And now please welcome out your umpires for this evening's game, Naeem Ashraf and Paul Pollard. Followed by Bowie Nally and the Birmingham Bears. And in Incora County Ground, please welcome out your Derbyshire Falcons opening.
Well, hello there on the BBC Sport website and app. How are you doing? I'm just going to check that we're there, actually, because it would be remiss of me not to check that we were there. I think we probably are. It's Dave Fletcher and it's John Brayford on BBC Radio Derby this evening. In a moment, we should hear our own voices coming back over the computer, so let's have a listen. Can't hear anything yet, which is a slight concern, but we'll bear with it. The news here is the Birmingham Bears won the toss. Derbyshire are batting first, not for the first time this season. In fact, for the fifth time this season. I still can't hear myself on the internet, which is a slight concern. Welcome along if you're watching on the Derbyshire stream as well. No, I can't hear anything there. I'm going to get complaints fairly shortly, I would imagine. So we'll wait until somebody lets us know that we're not on, and then we'll see what happens after that. One change for Derbyshire, as Matty McKiernan comes in for Anuj Dar. It is a used pitch, and Henry Brooks, who took 5 wickets on debut for Derbyshire in the county championship when he was on loan, he's going to bowl the first over, and he's going to be bowling to Lewis Rees once the umpire is happy that we can get underway, and he is now. So here is Henry Brooks. He's going to be bowling right arm around the wicket to Lewis Rees, who's off the mark straight away, pushing the ball down to backward point near the boundary, and they get through for a single. John, how are you? We can start talking properly now.
Evening, Dave. I'm very well, thank you.
Good man, good man. What a view we have here. I mean, people often come in and they sort of gasp, but this is the perfect view that we've got this evening because we're pretty much right behind the bowler's arm. The magnificence of the county ground in front of us, it's not a bad place to work, is it?
It's absolutely beautiful view to a Friday night watching the cricket, like you say, right behind the bowler's arm, and the stadium's filled up quite nicely down here, and hopefully we're in for an excellent night of cricket, and Derby can build on last night's result and take the momentum forward into this game.
Let's hope so. Next delivery from Brooks to Hayder Ali, who plays and misses outside the off stump. That was a sharp delivery that went through to the wicketkeeper, Alex Davis. I'm going to do something now that won't affect anybody who's watching the stream, so I'm just going to dial down the internet connection because it doesn't appear to be working at the moment.
Double link
I'm going to redial it. You might have been able to hear the redialing, but nobody else can hear it.
Yeah, he didn't time it great, did he, Dave? But early boundary for Derbyshire, and nice to get the scoreboard ticking along nicely.
Oh, it's good. It's a sort of footballing equivalent, isn't it? The power play of... There we go. There we are. We are on the internet now. That's good news. So we're on. Sorry, we missed a couple of deliveries. Derbyshire are 5 for no wicket, and Hayder Ali pushes this next delivery from Henry Brooks out into the offside. A big cry of no as Danny Briggs comes in to do the fielding. The other thing I forgot to mention to you is that every half hour I have to do updates for Radio Derby, and only I can hear them coming to me. So if I do that all of a sudden...
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything. You can if you want.
I'll stay out the way, Dave.
They won't care. The great and the good of local sport are in today. Nigel Paulson with a group of Burton Albion fans and Don Amot's in. Hayder Ali pushes this one out into the offside, straight to Briggs again. He's fielding at cover. The two men outside the circle are at deep backward square leg and at third man down in front of the chairman's box. We will keep an eye on, or I will keep an eye on, as best I can, scores from elsewhere. Worcestershire have made 43 without loss in 4 overs against Notts at Trent Bridge, and Brett D'Oliveira is going mad, which is great news, unless you're a Notts fan. And if you are, what are you listening to me for? Brooks in again. Hayder Ali pushes this out into the offside. Oh, it's a good stop, diving to his right this time, and he can't get a run. Really good stop. I think that's Dan Mousley. Could be Ed Barnard. It's one or the other. It's Ed Barnard, in fact. And the first over comes to an end. So the one boundary from it, 5 without loss. I did make a note. I did do some research, but I'm not sure where I put it. There it is. It's the only look. You've done 6 pages of this, and mine didn't even get halfway down. Twice they've made 47 in the power play.
Yep.
Once they made 52. That was the game from last night that they won. And once they made 56, and they still lost at Notts. So power play is important, obviously, because the field is out. It must be that must be quite alien, because there is there's nothing massively artificial in any game of football, is there? That like the field has to be in at a certain time and all that kind of thing. Dan Mousley's going to bowl the first over from the city, and that's turned around the corner by Lewis Rees. Nice and wristy as well, that shot. 4 runs to backward square leg. That'll make him feel better. It's like that first touch. Your first touch.
Great shot by Rees.
No idea why.
Flicked it into the leg side and ran away nicely for his first boundary.
Why do you need a first touch?
I don't know, Dave.
Keepers like a touch. Everybody wants a touch. Mousley bowls. That's down the leg side, and it's helped on its way to a degree by Lewis Rees. A tumbling stop just down below us by Chris Benjamin.
Yeah, but come back to your point, Dave. Yeah, it is a bit different. It's getting the right balance of making the most of the power play, and obviously not trying to lose as many wickets really, and set it up nicely for the other batters coming in.
Absolutely. Here we go with an update for BBC Radio Derby. Mosley's in again and bowls to Hayder Ali, who pushes this up to long on for a single. Good evening, Figure. Yeah, we are in the early stages here. It's only the second over of the match, a 7 o'clock start here at the County Ground. Derbyshire lost the toss. They were put into bat. They're currently 11 without loss. We've had 9 deliveries. Hayder Ali and Lewis Rees both have 5 each. And a boundary each as well, but it's early days. They've batted first in all 4 of the games that they've played so far, but they've only won 1 of them. They need to improve on that if they're going to make the knockout stages. First, second over, Derbyshire 11 without loss. And they go through for another single. That's all I have to do for another half hour. Easy life. 12 without loss. Yeah, there is a statistic, and I don't really know what it is, but I always say it. If you lose 3 wickets in the power play, you're in trouble. And there is something out there that backs that up statistically as well, but I don't know who did it. Mousley bowls and Haider Ali turns that into the leg side. They've run one. I think they'll only get one as well. They will. And Haider Ali moves on to 6. The previous ball run was given as a leg bite by the look of it. So it's 13 without loss after 2 overs. And Lewis Rees has 5 and Haider Ali has 6. So far, no alarms. Dear Brian Adams. Really?
Another one, Dave.
Oh, a bit soft rock for me, really. But there we go. Craig Miles, they had a game against Lancashire within the last 7 days, let's just put it like that. And the seamers, the Warwickshire seamers, the Birmingham seamers only bowled 2 overs. The rest of it was spin. It was at Edgbaston. They bowled out Lancashire for less than 100. I don't think this is that much of a turning pitch. But it is used. They used it twice on Monday, on the family day here. Huge crowd then, decent crowd tonight. And Miles is in to bowl to Haider, who turns it into the leg side. And there's no run. Sam Hain, who we'll see batting later, hopefully not for long. He's only been out once in the 4 matches so far, over 200 runs in the competition, does the fielding. The other thing as well, I was thinking about what can we talk about? We can talk about the cricket clearly, but cricket's weird, isn't it? Same team plays 3 different forms of cricket. I mean, it's bizarre. Miles is in again, short delivery and cut away nicely by Haider Ali for 4 runs to the backward point boundary. It just sat up really, there was no real pace in it from Miles. Haider picks up his 2nd boundary and moves into double figures. He's got 10, Derbyshire's 17.
Yeah, great shot that one, wasn't it, Fletch? And followed up by the trumpet that you love.
Yes.
No, a good start for Derby so far, and they've been in no trouble and obviously can keep the scoreboard ticking along nicely.
17 without loss after 14 deliveries, as this next one's down the leg side and will be wided. It's a, yes, thank you, umpire. It's a standard wide. Anything down the leg side in one-day cricket, unless the batsman makes a move into the leg side and the batsman just pushes it a little bit further down. They've changed the nuances of wides this season. Still haven't quite got to grips with it. 18 without loss now, and Haider Ali goes for a cut shot. That one doesn't bounce at all, goes underneath his bat and through to Davis behind the stumps. Might be a little bit of variable bounce in the pitch with it being a used pitch. It looked pretty decent. I mean, I'm the last person to ask. People often say, what's the pitch look like? Well,
looks like a pitch.
Looks like all the other pitches, in honesty. And even when they're green here at Derby, they don't play like green pitches anymore, which is a real shame. As Miles is in again, and that one is thrashed out into the offside for a 1-bounce 4, right in front of the dugouts, away to our left, in front of the car park, and perhaps more importantly, the burgers and fries. That was a terrific shot by Haider Ali, who's moved on to 14, and may well have his highest score of the season, because he's had a bit of a tricky time in white ball cricket so far, Haider. He's got such a lot of talent. That was a nice shot, though, wasn't it?
Beautiful shot.
There's Miles then, still 2 balls of his first over to go, and he bowls to Haider. That one's on target, pushes it out into the offside. It's fielded by Danny Briggs once again. Yes, a lot was expected of Haider. Come from the PSL, where he's won the title with his side in Lahore twice, which is no mean feat. But I think that's correct. Somebody might be able to correct me, in fact. But it hasn't quite happened for him so far this season. Miles then to complete the 3rd over of the innings, and it's bounces on Haider, and he wasn't in control of that shot. It loops into the offside, but fortunately for him, everybody was on the edge of the 30-yard circle. 22 without loss, 9 runs off that over, so 5, 8, and 9. The 3 overs of cost so far. And that's a pretty steady start, John.
Good start from Derbyshire, and obviously the last ball took a bit of a bounce off the pitch, and Ali's just looped it in the air, but the fielders, like you say, were on the edge of the circle, and it dropped away safely. But other than that, I don't think there's been any danger to Derby at the moment, and they've started the game really nicely. A couple of nice shots from Ali, and obviously the boundary from Reese too.
You make of Moeen's shoes there at
Yeah,
backward point.
they're a bit bright, aren't they,
They
Fletch?
just-
They're a bit, especially against that yellow and blue.
Got to be good to wear them. Glenn Maxwell comes into the attack and he's driven out towards long off by Lewis Reese. Oh, the fielder slips out there and Hayder Ali's going to get back for the second. It's a little unfortunate for the fielder down there in the far distance. If he turns round, I'll be able to tell you who he is. But he just lost his footing. He's not going to turn round, is he? I think it's,
a bit far.
it's Dan Mousley who lost his footing out there in the far distance and allowed Hayder Ali to get back for the second. Maxwell's in again. That one is swept, but straight to the fielder at short-ish backward square leg. It was Henry Brooks wearing 10 on his back. I'm trying to remember the number that he wore when he was here. It certainly wasn't 10 because that's Lewis Reese's number. Players like to take numbers around with them. Maxwell around the wicket, bowls, uses his feet there, Lewis Reese, and that's gone for 6 out to the East Midlands demolition stand. Terrific blow from Lewis Reese, the first maximum of the night. Just danced down the track and met the ball on the half volley, and away it went.
Yeah, great shot by Reese, Fletch. He timed that perfectly, didn't try to hit it too hard, and that one sailed straight over the boundary for the first 6 of the evening.
Next delivery from Maxwell, cut by Lewis Reese, but straight to Moeen Ali.
In those bright shoes.
They are ridiculously bright, but it means that if I ever get him wrong, it's all down to me. That would be outrageous, wouldn't it? Again, he tries to cut Lewis Reese and he misses it. Bounces into, then out of Alex Davis's gloves behind the stumps. Davis, who made the switch from Lancashire to Birmingham to Warwickshire, good player. Maxwell again, that one's turned into the leg side by Lewis Reese. Final ball of the over, they'll pick up one. One is all they'll get, they'll settle for that. Single is taken. Reese moves on to 14. Hayder has 14 as well. Good over for Derbyshire. 31 without loss after 4 overs. They will be relatively pleased. I'm trying to think back. They've lost wickets in each of the power plays, but not many. 1 or 2 generally. But if you can be intact at the end of the power play, it really, as you said earlier, just gives the batsmen who are coming in later that opportunity to sort of tee off from the start.
Yeah, of course, and Derbyshire started the game really, really well. They've scored some nice boundaries and obviously trying to put the pressure on the Birmingham Bears here and try and make the most of this power play without losing those wickets. And Reese and Ali look like they're full of confidence and hopefully they can tick a few more along here.
Lewis Reese pinched the strike from the final ball of the previous over. Henry Brooks begins a new over. That's turned into the leg side. He's in trouble here and he's caught, Lewis Reese. And Henry Brooks celebrates. Caught down at deep backward square leg. Derbyshire do lose their first wicket in the fifth over, I beg your pardon. They're 31 for 1. And Reese didn't fully commit to that shot, really. Sort of flicked it more than anything. And it was a comfortable catch in the deep.
Yeah, like you say, Fletch, he didn't go after the ball as such, did he? He just flicked it and it just looped up straight into the air and obviously caught deep in the field.
Craig Miles is the man who took the catch out there in the deep. 14 off 12 for Lewis Reese. He'll be disappointed, I'm sure. 1-4-1-6. There he is. The local hero. 109 not out last night. Didn't bat with Hayder because he was the first man out. Tom Wood came in at 3 last night because it was in the second over, I think it was last night. He's getting a bit of AC/DC now. I approve of that. That's much more like
Fitting of the man, eh, Fletch?
I think
Fitting
so,
of the man.
Proper tune for a proper cricketer.
Yeah.
Saw them at Donington as well, AC/DC. The Hells Bells tour. We couldn't work out what was going on because Angus Young, the guitarist who dresses up as a schoolboy, even though he's 83, disappeared off stage. And the next thing, he's walking past us. Henry Brooks into bowl to Wayne Madsen, who cuts and is off the mark straight away. That'll be 4. He's just carried on as he finished last night. Absolutely terrific shot from Wayne Madsen. It was too short and too wide, really. You can't do that to anybody who's good at sport. And Wayne Madsen's in a rich vein at the moment. It must be great to be in that kind of form.
You can just see he's straight away from the first ball. Hit the boundary straight away, and you can see he's full of confidence. The way he started in the T20 competition and following on from his century last night.
There's Brooks again, bowls to him. That one is just guided into the offside by Madsen. When you are, as a professional sportsman, when you feel like you're at the top of your game, is the only thing that can damage you overconfidence in the end.
Possibly, and yourself, because I don't know if there's overconfidence, but it's just having the belief whatever you do, you're going to do it to the best of your ability, really. And it's a strange one to actually think about and know what's right with that.
He defends this next ball from Brooks up to Moeen Ali at mid-on.
Yeah, it's just when you're in that place and mindset, and you're just in that feel-good factor, really. And like I say, whatever you touch, feel like you're going to turn to gold. And I think that's with any sport, really. And obviously, Madsen at the moment is on fire for Derbyshire, and obviously following on from his century last night and passing the 20,000 runs for Derbyshire in the whole in all formats.
Which is ridiculous, isn't it? There's only 2 other players who've done that, and he will overtake Dennis Smith in the not too distant future as well, so he'll be the second highest run scorer in the county's history as Brooks bowls to him. Oh, and he's beaten by that one. It goes through to Davis. That one just bounced a little bit on him, and he just had to pull his bat out of the way, lean back, and make sure he didn't get a touch on it. Good delivery.
It was a bit similar to the Ali delivery where he just bounced on him a little bit, and it looked. But obviously Madsen's played, and unfortunately for Derbyshire, he's just missed the outside edge.
Yes, it's either a terrific ball and it's too good to actually get a touch on it, or you are the consummate batsman, which Wayne Madsen is, and you're good enough to get out of the way, which he was on that occasion. Brooks is in again. He flicks this into the leg side. There is a man down on the square leg boundary. Oh, he's misfielded it, but they're not going to run on the misfield. Quite right too. That might be Jake Lintop down there. And they go through for a single. Madsen moves on to 5, and at the end of the over, just 5 runs from it. 36 for 1 now, Derbyshire, after 5 overs. So the run rate, well, I want to get that up a little bit, but at the moment it's not too bad. Just hearing a little interference on the line. I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's not affecting anybody's enjoyment of the game. It might just be at my end. So apologies if it is affecting your enjoyment. What last over of the power play coming up. I think the key here, John, is to make sure they don't lose another wicket.
Oh yeah, of
personally.
course. Yeah, of course. They've obviously, like you say, they would want to increase the run rate, but the importance is especially not to lose Madsen at this early stage, really, and just get through this power play and build the innings from there.
So Madsen waits. Miles bowls to him, and he tries to club it into the leg side, but makes a poor contact, really. And there's no run on that occasion. Miles went for 9 off his first over. So we're looking to better that in this one. I've just got a message off Ed and I want to reply to it, but I can't find the emoji to do it. I'm not very good at emojis. Oh no, Miles has started his run up and Wayne Madsen's walked away. I'm not entirely. Oh, it's the glasses. This is the second time it's happened this season. How about that? The sunglasses on top of the umpire's cap were deflecting the sun into Wayne Madsen's eyes, and it was just putting him off. I hadn't seen that until a couple of days ago, and now I've seen it twice. Miles in, bowls to Madsen, who goes for a. It's been given as a wide, which is a little harsh. He went for quite a big shot outside the off stump, one of those almost uppercut type shots. It would have flown down to us. There is a third man. He was on the boundary, Henry Brooks, but he's now being moved onto the edge of the circle, and the man down at backward point's gone outside the 30-yard discs, but he didn't make contact, and it was given wide. 37 for 1. Miles is in again, and Madsen just strokes this up to mid-off. And it went straight to the man at mid-off, and again, there's no run. Quite a quiet over. And Madsen's one of those batsmen as well. You can pretty much tell what the pitch is doing. He does all the hand movements. If it's bouncing, he'll show you by thrusting his hand forward. Very demonstrative when he's out there. The noise you can hear is all coming from the Birmingham Bears fielders. Third ball of the Miles over, bowls to Madsen, who pulls it for 4. Now that is a shot of a batsman in form, because it was so far in front of square. It was about 10 yards to the right of Moeen Ali at mid-off, and it flew.
Went past him like a flash, didn't it, Fletch? But he didn't even have a chance to move them orange shoes.
They have no special powers, the shoes, sadly for Moeen.
He's just carried on from last night, hasn't he, in terms of his form, and just the confidence is so high, and he's taking those shots on now.
My major fear is when Wayne Madsen does fail, and the law of averages say that at some point he will. He's on 9 from 8 at the moment, Derbyshire 41 from 1. Somebody else will have to step up. There are more than capable batsmen in the Derbyshire side. There's Deploy, Brooke Guest, Tom Wood, Matty McKinnon can bat, so can Zach Chappell. As Miles is in again and bowls to Madsen and cuts this away down towards the backward point boundary. There is somebody out there on the sweep, if you like, and just the single. Taking the man out there is Dan Mosley. No, it isn't. The man out there is Ed Barnard. Huge difference between the number 3 and the number 8. I was unable to spot the difference. The greatest innovation in cricket for me, numbers on the backs of the shirts. I now know all the Derbyshire players by sight, but some teams we don't see very often. And it's my first sight of Birmingham as Haider Ali pushes this one up to mid-off. They're going through for a quick single, and they'll get there as the shot at the stumps comes in.
Good running though, Fletch.
It was good running, wasn't it? Put pressure on the fielders. 43 for 1. Right, that's twice the trumpets sounded. And on neither,
I wasn't going to mention it.
But on neither occasion did they get a reaction from the crowd, so they might as well stop, really.
I saw a couple of people stand up on the far side.
Yeah. They just need the toilet. 43 for 1. Wayne Madsen's on 10. Miles bowls to him, and my word, he played that late. Did you think, like me, that he'd missed it?
He played it so late, didn't he, Fletch? Literally, it was, what was it? It must have been 6 inches from the stumps, and he's managed just to cut it away to the short third man. But I think he's that confident to leave the ball that late. He's going to play those sorts of shots.
My heart was in my mouth. If you're watching on the stream, I'm sure yours was too. 43 for 1 at the end of the power play. And it's the lowest power play Derbyshire have managed so far this season. I don't think it means an awful lot because their best power play was in the game that they lost at Trent Bridge this time last week. But then again, they always lose at Trent Bridge. Danny Briggs has been brought into the attack first over out of the power play. Long off. Man on the cover boundary. Man at square leg and at mid-wicket and at long on. Briggs bowls to Haider, who tries to turn this one into the leg side. It is Haider Ali. 15 is Haider Ali's highest score in the competition this season in the 5th match, which shows you he's due as Briggs bowls to him, and he turns that nicely into the leg side. Briggs has got to chase it himself to the edge of the 30-yard circle and think about coming back for the second. Ed Barnard is there, though, and they settle for 1. Pretty sure that these two have batted quite a lot together in first-class cricket, but not so much in the T20 so far this season. As Briggs around the wicket, bowls to Madsen, who is a compulsive sweeper, but just taps that one out to Barnard at mid-wicket and goes through for another single. 45 for 1. A bit of a lull, certainly in the crowd. They need a big shot to get them going. Briggs in, and there is the attempted big shot from Haider, who tries to pull it into the city centre, and it hits him on the thigh pad and dribbles out into the offside. Briggs bowling from the racecourse end here at the county ground. He's in again now, and this time Haider just pushes it into the leg side. They go through for a comfortable single. I always think dot balls in T20, they're annoying.
Yeah.
Annoying. Can't get a big shot, get a single.
Yeah, and Briggs is getting through his balls quite quickly here and just milking Derby a little bit for just these singles.
That's a reverse there from Wayne Madsen. That'll be 4. Yeah. Told you he was a compulsive sweeper. He played one reverse sweep shot in his century at Leicester, and I did ask him about it, and he said it depends on the pitch. Well, he's clearly decided that this pitch is there for the sweep. 7 runs off the over, and the half century's up for Derbyshire. 50 for 1 after 7.
He's just sweep that one straight off middle stump, plenty Fletch, and obviously you see the confidence flowing through his veins now, and hopefully we're here to watch Madsen all night bat so we can see another big score from him.
That would be good, wouldn't it? 2 T20 centuries, the only Derbyshire batsman to have 2 T20 centuries. Glenn Maxwell, his first over went 4-9. They haven't had a double figure over yet, Derbyshire. The Australian Glenn Maxwell is back from the City end, so clearly Birmingham think spin is the way forward. The good news is that Matty McKiernan's in for Anuj Dal. Maxwell bowls, big appeal for leg before wicket, probably pitched outside leg stump, I would imagine. It's about the only thing that could have saved Hayder there, I think. Umpire at the far end, I think it's Paul Pollard. It is. Umpire Pollard says not out. In comes Maxwell again. Back towards his stumps goes Hayder, turns it into the leg side, but the fielder on the mid-wicket boundary is in quickly and keeps them down to a single. When will they step on the gas? They will, or they'll try, at some point. Next delivery, reverse from Wayne Madsen, misses it. Bales removed by Davis, who immediately signals to the umpire at square leg that he's got it, so he can replace the bails. Wayne Madsen's not 100% happy with the way the bails have been replaced, and now the umpire is coming in from square leg.
Not in no great hurry though, is he, Fletch?
No, I don't think he wants to. Yeah, no, you do it, boys. Oh, come on, just sort the bails out and we can go with the game. Worcestershire 14 overs gone now at Trent Bridge. They're 168 for 3, so heading towards 200. As Maxwell is in around the wicket, bowls to Madsen outside the leg stump, and he just turns it down a backward square leg for another single, cramping Madsen up for space there. Can't really free the arms, and hasn't been able to free the arms too many times so far in this innings. 51 for 1, 52 for 1, I beg your pardon. Maxwell bowls. Hayder's down the track with a huge yahoo and misses it completely. Hits him in the pad outside the line of leg stump and dribbles into the offside.
He's desperate to get one of these deliveries away, isn't he? I think
he's getting frustrated.
He's getting a bit frustrated.
There we go. He's got one away, and that's going to go to the boundary, is it? No, there's a fielder coming round. Good piece of fielding, one-handed. They come back for the second. Hayder almost swung himself off his feet there. End of the over.
Yeah, I think
from it.
That shot was coming there, wasn't it, Fletch? The pressure had been building a little bit that over, just trying to swing and not connecting fully, and then just got that one away, 1 for 2.
Yes. He's Wayne Madsen's strike rate is currently at 114 per 100 balls. Hayder Ali's is less than 100. It's down at 90. 20 off 22, 3 fours, and that's the kind of thing that can frustrate a batsman like him. Wayne's nowhere near last night's strike rate, which was astonishing.
That was in my notes, Fletch. 137 strike rate in his career.
Which is not bad, considering how long he's played. There's an appeal for leg before wicket, Danny Briggs' first delivery to Wayne Madsen. It was only from Alex Davis, though. There's a chirpy little character behind the stumps, as most wicket-keepers are. But Guest is quite quiet, in fairness. Madsen sweeps, and it comes off his thigh pad and goes down to a very fine third man. Missed it completely with the bat. Derbyshire pick up a leg by and move on to 55 for 1. No fireworks yet. I can't fully promise you fireworks, but there'll be something. Briggs bowls. Hayder slogs it into the leg side. Horrible looking shot. Picked up by Ed Barnard out on the mid-wicket boundary. He moves to 21 off 23, 56 for 1.
He's just not timing it yet, is he,
No.
Ali? He's just not timing the ball as sweetly as he'd like, and just pulling these shots or being a little bit too late or early on them.
He's leaning on his bat as Briggs bowls to Madsen, who slogs that one into the leg side. It is a slog, really. It's a very un-Wayne Madsen-like shot, in all honesty. Putting everything into it, but getting precious little out of it. Gets a single, moves to 17, 57 for 1. Next delivery from Briggs. Round the wicket, bowls to Hayder, who plays that really late and pushes it out into the offside. There's Moeen.
Can't miss him.
No, does the fielding. Hayder moves to 22. We can do the next update later in the hour. Just let me know, Josh. As in comes Briggs again. That's pulled into the leg side. That might go between the two fielders, and it does, out on the leg side boundary. Wayne Madsen picks up a boundary off the final delivery, a much-needed boundary, in all honesty. He moves to 21. Hayder Ali has 22. 62 for 1 after 9. 8 runs off that over, so still no double-figure overs yet.
No, just steady, but ticking along, and only lost the 1 wicket, really, Derbyshire, so hopefully they're building into a nice innings, really, and obviously with the wickets in the hut still, they've still got time to increase this run rate, which is 6.9 at the moment, so with the wickets in the hut, I'm sure we'll see those fireworks shortly.
The unmistakable figure of Jake Lintott. With his left arm leg spin. He's going to be bowling the next over from the City end. It's the 6th bowler that Birmingham Bears have used. He just dries his left hand and the old footmarks, and he'll be ready to go.
Hope he's got some sun cream on that head, Fletch.
I like that hairstyle. He's in and bowls a full toss down the leg side that will be signalled wide. Davies did well to get there. Hayder Ali's missed out though. That should really be heading towards Chad. Ended up dribbling back towards the bowler. 63 for 1. Lintott bowls that first delivery again, and he's been smashed out towards long on for 6. Hayder Ali's got hold of 1. Thank goodness for that.
There was no problem with the timing on that one, was the Fletch? Straight into the stand.
I'm just glad he's got hold of 1, because he just looks so frustrated out there. He's moved on to 28.
Yeah, he caught that one absolutely sweetly, straight out of the middle of the bat, and obviously put a bit of pressure on Lintott now, considering the first ball was a wide and his second ball's gone for 6.
Yes, his economy rate's not looking too clever at the moment. He's conceded 7 off 1 legitimate delivery, and he's hit that one out towards long off. Just hops up off the outfield there in the far distance. The fielder did well to keep his concentration. And Hayder picks up another single, moves to 29, 70 for 1. Doesn't take much for that run rate to start going in the right direction. Already up to 7.5 now. That gets up over 9, then Derbyshire got a chance here. That was a good delivery from Lintott. Madsen just took a step into the leg side, and he threw it outside the off stump. And
just skidded along a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, he couldn't quite reach it.
If Madsen couldn't reach it, I'm not sure many could.
No, absolutely. Lintott bowls. This is a really full delivery that Madsen almost has to dig out like a Yorker. It looped towards him. His eyes will have lit up momentarily as he thought it might be a full toss, then it just sort of dipped at the last minute. Very canny operator, Jake Lintott. Tosses himself a catch. And he's in again, and Madsen pulls this into the leg side, off the stumps presumably, judging by Lintott's reaction. Madsen moves on to 22 from 21, 70 for 1. Talking about a dog show in my ears at the moment. I don't know where the dog show is. I don't have a dog, so it's of no real interest to me, as Hayder Ali pushes this next delivery from Lintott up to a long off, very straight long off, and they pick up a single. Final ball of the over. Hayder moves on to 30. Madsen has 22. 10 off the over at long last. A 10-run over. And at the halfway stage, Derbyshire 72 for 1. In 50-over cricket, we always say you double what you get, probably after about 32 or 33 overs now. I don't think there is a similar formula in T20 cricket, but having 9 wickets left, huge. Should be huge.
Yeah, and if these two stay in for a bit longer, then obviously it's going to build into a nice score for Derbyshire, really. And Ali's just starting to time the ball a little bit better than what he was earlier in his innings. He couldn't really get out the 30-yard circle, but now after hitting that 6, he seems to be timing the ball a lot better. And obviously with Wayne at the other end, he's got an amazing partner to support him, really, who'll hopefully stay there for the remaining of the innings. 7th bowler used by Birmingham is Ed Barnard, who bowls to Hayder Ali, pushes it up towards a wide mid-on, where it's fielded by Sam Hain, just down to our right-hand side as we look out from the racecourse end here at the county ground. Few seats in the permanent temporary stand at the far end of the ground, but not many. Not many. Here is Barnard
once again, second delivery of his first over, and Wayne Madsen gets tucked up by that one. I think he's been hit. Oh dear. Nothing the physio can do about that.
Not in the greatest of areas to get hit, is it? And that's being kind.
Yeah. Hayder Ali's only gone down to the far end to
I'm
laugh.
not sure what he's going to do, Fletcher.
No.
He's not going to give it a rub, is he?
No, he's just going to give him a tap on the head. Yeah, the physio's stayed firmly in his seat in the dugout, and where Madsen's stretching.
Yeah.
And potentially counting, who knows?
Yeah.
73 for 1.
Count them all up, long as they're all still there. Let's get on with the game.
Those cricket balls are hard. I broke a finger once. I've never had anything like that, though. Here's Ed Barnard in and bowls to Wayne Madsen, who's slapped him out towards extra cover. 1, 2 bounces and over the rope. So hitting Wayne Madsen's not a good idea, clearly. Madsen moves on to 26. And Derbyshire are 77 for 1. Beware an angered Wayne Madsen. I don't think I've ever seen him angry, in all honesty. He's just not that kind of person. He waits now as Barnard is on his way in once again, and this one is a full delivery, and that's a swing of the bat, and the ball eventually goes out into the leg side for a single. I'm not sure that's entirely where he meant it to go, but it's not like a striker has to get it in the goal. As long as you get it away from a fielder, you're all right in cricket. So much easier. I couldn't do either. Fifth ball of Barnard's over. In and balls an attempt to cut that one. It's a quicker delivery from Barnard. Just seemed to go through a bit sharper. Davies standing up behind the stumps with the helmet on. That's a dangerous occupation, I always think, keeping wicket.
Yeah, it's not the ideal place to stand on a cricket
Not
field,
really.
is it?
No, I wouldn't want to be there. Slight deflection and you could be in all sorts of bother. Hayder waits, Barnard to complete his over, turn into the leg side. I think there'll just be one there as well. There is 79 for 1 at the end of 11. 7 off that over, including that boundary. Madsen has 27 from 24. Hayder has 32 from 30.
Here's your favourite song, Fletch.
There we go.
There we go.
Is it not early? Bit early for that, really?
It's never too early for Sweet Caroline, Fletch. Never.
Well, feel free to sing, obviously, but don't forget, I know where all the buttons are. When you listen to the song, it's a really good song.
It's just been overkill.
Oh,
yeah, the overkill.
Every sporting event.
Everyone.
Glenn Maxwell.
It's a bit like a British tradition now, isn't it? Unfortunately for you.
Yes, absolutely. Update coming up now with Figure. As Maxwell is in and bowls, and that one is launched. Oh, and Hayder Ali's just been out. Figure he's been caught in the deep, and Derbyshire have lost their second wicket. We're in the 12th over here. They've got 79 on the board, but they're now 79 for 2. Hayder Ali dismissed for 32. Dan Mousley with the catch out in the deep off the bowling of the Australian Glenn Maxwell. Lewis Rees was dismissed earlier, caught by Craig Miles off Henry Brooks for 14. Wayne Madsen, who last night scored his second T20 century in the victory over Leicestershire, the only Derbyshire batsman to have 2 T20 centuries to his name. He's unbeaten on 27. Lewis Deploy, the skipper, has come out to join him, and Derbyshire in the 12th over are 79 for 2. Disappointing was that?
Yeah, he never really timed the ball all evening, though, did he, Fletch? Really, he hit that beautiful 6. But other than that, I think he just struggled with his timing a little bit, and then he's just swept that one into the leg side and caught about 10 yards from the boundary edge. And yeah, I think, like you say, that's how his season's gone a little bit this year, hasn't it, in the T20?
Yeah, 3 4s and 1 6 for Hayder. And Lewis Deploy, the new batsman, will be on strike, as are the rules now. The new batsman for the catch is always on strike, and Maxwell is in and bowls to Lewis Deploy, who's off the mark straight away, just pushing the ball out into the offside towards the man who caught that ball to dismiss Hayder Ali, Dan Mousley. And Derbyshire move on to 80 for 2. Still be okay. Keep telling myself they'll still be okay. It isn't going to be easy. against a very good Birmingham side. Madsen chops that one into the offside. They're going to run through for a quick single. They're going to get there as well as the man in the covers, Chris Benjamin, had to run around the ball to pick it up and then put the throw in. Reenan has been on from South Africa. Not a fan of the T20 game at all, but that Madsen guest stand yesterday. 2 exclamation marks. Midwinter Friday night. Here we are. Go Derbyshire. Reenan's listening in, possibly watching as well in South Africa. As Maxwell bowls to deploy, the left-handed deploy, pushes it out into the offside, and there is no run. I'm just waiting to see if I'm being slagged off on social media.
You or me,
really.
Fletch?
Not you, John, not you. That one's pushed up to long on by Lear's deploy. Oh, Madsen turned around for the second, but the fielder was already throwing the ball in, so just one. Deploy moves on to 2, 82 for 2. 2 very destructive batsmen out there now. Thank you to Paul, who was affirming that the stream was on. I think there was a slight glitch in the matrix, whatever that means. As Maxwell bowls a very slingy delivery to Wayne Madsen, who turns it into the leg side for another single. When will they go? 4 runs off the over and a wicket. 83 for 2 after 12. That run rate just below 7. 140 is not going to be enough. I don't think there's any question. They made 149 on this same pitch against Northants and were beaten with 2 overs to spare. So they know how many they need, really.
Yeah, and they'll have that in the back of their minds, won't they? And knowing they'll need to tick these runs off pretty soon, really, with 8 wickets still left in the hut.
There's a man out in front of the dugout. Not they call dugouts. It's not dugout. It's anyway, the bench is Tom Wood. Jake Lintott's back and bowls a wide-ish delivery to Wayne Madsen, who chops it straight into the ground and behind the wicketkeeper for a single. He's called through by Lear's deploy, who clearly had a better sight of the ball there than Wayne Madsen. Once he'd hit it, it was out of his sight. Derbyshire moved to 84 for 2. Not the crash bang wallop we had last night. Derbyshire made 189 for 5 and defended it in the final over for their first victory of the season. The man down at deep backward square leg's just been moved a little finer. Lintott's in reverse out from Lear's deploy, who almost falls over playing the shot, but it's a very effective shot nonetheless. He was in position to play the reverse before the bowler had even delivered the ball.
He was, and he was waiting and waiting. From the time the ball got to him, I think he was on his knees once here and managed just to hit it into the leg side for an interesting 4, let's say. But he waited and waited for the ball, and he just never seemed to get there.
Bizarre. He's waiting now. He's on to 6, and this time it's an orthodox. Well, I was going to say an orthodox shot. He's basically got a bottom edge, and it's gone to backward square leg for another single. He moves on to 7 from 5. 89 for 2. Midway through the 13th over. Jake Lintott's second. Brooks has 3 left. Mosley has 2 left. Brooks, 3 Mosley. Couple for Miles as well. Maxwell's only got 1 left. This ball is bowled a long way outside the off stump, and because Wayne Madsen had gone across, despite the protestations of the Derbyshire supporters down below us, it's not signalled a wide. I think that's fair enough. The bowlers have precious little in their favour in T20 cricket as Lintott bowls again. Now that is wide. There we go.
I think that was 2 wides, Fletch.
Yeah. Do you think the first one was?
I don't know, it was another one of Lintott's little skiddy ones, really, and I think Wayne took a step outside off stump, so I think, like you say, the bowlers don't really get a lot in their favour in T20, so I think we can let him off that one.
This next delivery is pretty much on target and slapped away for 4 runs by Madsen. Glorious shot out to the cover boundary, moves into well into the 30s now. He's up to 34 from 29. And Derbyshire up to 94 for 2 now. Hasn't been easy for the batsman out there.
No, but he really caressed that one straight through the offside, didn't he? And his timing's just impeccable. And like we were talking about before, when you're just in that zone, he's really in that zone at the moment in his career.
Lintott in bowls to him. Oh, that's a horrible shot. Into
Just cursed him.
That was horrible. 94 for 2. 11 runs off the over. Derbyshire's best so far with those 2 boundaries in it. The reverse from Lear's deploy and the shot out to the cover boundary from Wayne Madsen. He's just flexing his left. What's that muscle there?
Quadricep muscle, yeah. The thigh muscle in layman's terms.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to say thigh, but I thought you'd probably know the proper name for it. Because you've got them and I haven't. Glenn Maxwell's going to bowl out here. 3 overs, 1 for 17 so far for the Australian. Once of Lancashire. I mean, he's been everywhere. Glenn Maxwell. Around a lot of franchise cricket across the world. And he's in now and bowls to Deploy, who's bowled as he dances down the track and misses it. And Deploy has to go. That was ugly, I'm afraid, for Leas Deploy, who departs for just 7 off 6. And Derbyshire lose their 3rd wicket, 94 for 3.
Yeah, he's come down, dancing down the track, and Maxwell's just skidded one along and took the bail straight off, really. So, disappointing night for Deploy, but obviously we've still got Wayne at the other end who can get their scoreboard as high as possible.
How much of this is this team reliant on Wayne Madsen? Tom Wood, another local hero, had a spell at Derbyshire as a youngster, was released, came back, had the issue with the inhaler last season. He's now back in the T20 side, Woody. Good to see him back. And he and Wayne Madsen put on a few last night. If I'd done my homework, I'd be able to tell you how many, but they certainly put on a few. Is that in your notes?
It might be.
Should be.
It should be. It should be.
If it isn't, it's the only thing that isn't. Unbelievable amount of notes. Terrific stuff. It's a very good white ball cricketer. In fact,
Well, Wood scored 37 last night.
he did.
scored
Did he?
37.
Okay, I'll take your word for that. I've been to bed since then. 94 for 3. Maxwell in bowls to Wood, who turns this into the leg side. He's off the mark straight away. He's a very quick runner as well. Between the wickets is Tom Wood, but there is only one there on that occasion. 95 for 3. See, I can work it out.
Also got me quizzes in this book here.
Have you?
I have.
We might do them later on if we're struggling for something to do. Hopefully we won't be, but you never know. I like a quiz. Next delivery to Madsen from Glenn Maxwell is turned into the leg side again, just for a single. I can't find it at all because that's the wrong game. You absolute fool. Tom Wood and Wayne Madsen yesterday put on 95. If they get that between them, we'll be doing all right. As Maxwell's next delivery is played straight back to him by Tom Wood. 2 balls of the over left, 2 balls of Maxwell's 4 over spell. He's in now and bowls to Wood, who tries to flick it into the leg side and misses it completely. Ball bounces down by his feet. Just for a split second, I thought he might have rolled towards the stumps, but he's okay. Somebody with very impressive lungs out there as Maxwell bowls, and Wood tries to turn it into the leg side, comes off a leading edge out into the offside. 2 runs and a wicket off the over. Terrific over from Glenn Maxwell. 96 for 3 Derbyshire with 6 overs to go, where Madsen has 35. I don't think he's going to get 3 figures tonight. Tom Wood has 1. Timmy Kieran's just come down the steps away to our left-hand side, all kitted up. Brooke Guest will be next. Matty McKiernan will follow him, and Zach Chappell. McKiernan, the only change to the side that played last night, in for Anuj Dal. And I feel that probably, as Danny Briggs comes back into the attack, will get his full allocation of overs, because we've seen an awful lot of spin. Briggs and Maxwell and Lintott. The first delivery that Briggs bowls, Wayne Madsen turns it down to long leg. How's he done that for 4 runs? That's astonishing.
Amazing shot from Madsen, really. He didn't even think he was going to get to the boundary, Fletch, but he's timed it once again perfectly, and he's just got out from the short third man over the top of his head, and he's just ran away to the boundary.
Absolutely remarkable. He's pulling that quad again, left quad knee, and he's now stretching his back. I mean, bless him, he is 39. And he did play a leading role last night as well. He's got another game on Sunday.
There's nothing wrong with an ageing sportsman, Fletch.
No, indeed. Or commentator, as that one is crashed out into the offside by Wayne Madsen, just for a single this time, although he looked quite keen for a second. He's not going to get one. He moves to 40. 101 for 3. The lights are on for no apparent reason. Yeah, they've just been switched on. I think it does take them a little while to warm up. As this next delivery is clipped towards a wide-ish long on by Tom Wood. Picks up his second run of the innings. Sam Hain comes in off the boundary to do the fielding. Who's that warming up? Dan Mousley's warming up down to our left-hand side, so more spin as Briggs is in, and that's swept by Wayne Madsen. Very square. You're absolutely right, John. That is a magnificent shot by Wayne Madsen. He moves to 44. And Derbyshire to 106 for 3 now.
Yeah, and he's firmly on the way to another half century here. Just the way he's playing, Fletch, it's impeccable really, and the timing of the ball, just with that shot there, he's just stretched his front leg out and dragged it away for another boundary.
John Brayford's never heard of the commentator's curse. He reaches for this one outside the off stump and sends it down to a wide third man for a single to move to 45. You knew at this, John. You'll pick it up in the end where you think, oh, just look up and see when the last time something happened, and you look it up, and the next thing is it's all gone wrong. 107 for 3.
He's still stretching though, Fletch. I don't know.
He is a bit, isn't he? They have got Anoj Dal on the bench as a potential fielder should he require a 12th man. Wood chops this next delivery from Briggs out towards the point boundary. Again, just .45 at the non-strikers end. Tom Wood, 3 from 6, takes a step into the leg side. Mosley follows him and he pulls it out towards mid-wicket for a single. It's gone quiet again now that we've lost the Beatles. I'm not sure about that song either. I mean, I like the Beatles, but it's not one of my favourites. Again, probably because I hear it every night I go to work. Madsen pulls this next delivery into the leg side. Tom Wood fancies a second. He's going to come back for the second. If that ball had hit the stumps, he might have been in trouble, but really it would have been some throw from the boundary, and Madsen moves on to 47.
Should get you to do the playlist next time, eh?
Yes, yes. I don't think they'll let me anywhere near it. Mosley bowls. That one's outside the off stump and crashed straight to Moeen Ali, who's fielding at extra cover on the 30-yard circle. To his left, Danny Briggs.
He can't have brought them shoes, Fletch, could he?
And a caught and bowl chance there as Madsen hit it straight back at Dan Mousley, and he couldn't hold on. It was a very, very sharp chance because he hit it hard.
Yeah, hit it back really firmly there, and Mousley just couldn't grab onto it.
He's in again over the wicket. That one keeps low. Madsen groping outside his off stump for the ball, can't make contact. 111 for 3 it remains, just 3 runs off the over so far. Good over from Mousley, who's in again, and Madsen smashes it straight back down the ground. That will get all the way for 4. There's a despairing dive from the fielder coming around from a wideish long on, but it's another half century for Wayne Madsen. 4 half centuries and a century in 5 matches in the T20 Blast this season for Wayne Madsen. At the age of 39, in his 15th season with the club. That one came from 40 balls, and the boundary that he struck was his 9th.
Yeah, running out of superlatives for him, we've said all night, haven't we? And no commentator's courage, fortunately, to get to his half century, but he's underpinning this innings perfectly for Derby, like he has done for the whole season, and we're in a privileged position just to watch his innings from here.
Absolutely. Henry Brooks is back. Bowled just 2 overs so far, 1 for 10. One of the 2 bowlers being watched by Jeff Arnold this evening. Former England quick, who's sitting a few doors down from us to our left here at the media centre at the racecourse end of the ground. That's where he's bowling from. Brooks is bowling to Tom Wood. Takes a step into the offside and then lifts him beautifully. 1 bounce over backward point for 4 runs. If you're going to give Tom Wood a short delivery outside the off stump, that's what happens. Beautiful.
Hopefully Jeff was in the toilet and didn't watch that delivery.
Well, he's still eating that enormous plate of sandwiches that
I didn't want to say anything, but he couldn't have got any more sandwiches on the plate if he tried.
He needed to bring his own plate. He's a top man, Jeff. 119 for 3. In goes Brooks again. This time it's smashed out into the offside. It bounces into the ground and over the man who's close in at cover. They've run 2. They'll probably come back for 3, will they? Yes, Wood wants a 3rd. He's going to get a 3rd as well. That's good running. And Tom Wood moves on to 11 from 9, and Derbyshire up to 122 for 3. Woody's getting going now.
Yeah, excellent running from Wood there. He was always going to come back for the 3rd, called him Wayne through and made it comfortably in the end.
He hit it hard, didn't he?
Yeah.
Straight into the ground. I've just had a message from a colleague. He's obviously, his ears are pricked up by your quiz that you've got in your notebook there. He's asked me to ask you a question. It was a question I asked this colleague through the week. As Brooks is in, that one is pulled into the leg side by Wayne Madsen. The fielder out in the deep gets there, and they're going to come back for a second. It was a good piece of fielding actually down there. I assume he kept it in. There's no signal from the fielder to suggest otherwise. 124 for 3. Madsen moves on to 53. The question is, how many time zones does China have? Oof. It's an absolute belter. 124 for 3. You can join in at home as well.
Do I get a guess or?
Yeah, you can have as many guesses as you want.
No,
Not you, Jono, because you told me to ask the question. That's a slower delivery from Henry Brooks that fools Madsen completely. Bounces over the stumps actually and through to Alex Davis.
I think Russia has 10. I could be wrong. I'm sure Russia has 10, so I'd go...
If only the question was how many time zones does Russia have?
I'll go 8, Fletch.
Will you?
8.
Yeah.
8. You can tell me I'm miles off.
You're 7 out. I'm telling you which way.
It can't be 15.
No, it's not. Here's Brooks from the racecourse end. In and bowls to Wayne Madsen. Again, a slower ball. He's through the shot before the ball arrives. Tried to pull it into the leg side. Yes, China has 1 time zone.
1 time zone.
Ridiculously. Oh, John's looking at his questions now. We're all in trouble. Thank you, Jono. 124 for 3 with 1 ball of the 17th over to go. Derbyshire clearly don't have enough runs at the moment. Although they have scored more against Birmingham than Lancashire did the other week when they failed to get to 3 figures. And in comes Brooks again. Final ball of his 3rd over. 1 for 19 so far. And that one is crashed by Madsen out into the offside. He'll only pick up a single though. Another good over from Henry Brooks, who, as we have seen this season, is a decent player. There were 10 runs from it though. 125 for 3 at the end of 17. Barry White, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I love
my mum's favourite.
Love a bit of Barry
My mum's favourite.
Oh, baby. Love a bit of Barry White.
Mum's favourite.
Yeah. The walrus of love. 125 for 3. That's Barry White, by the way, not me. Madsen 54 off 44 deliveries. Wood has 11 off 9. This partnership worth 31 off 23.
That'd have been a whole different conversation if it was you, Fletch, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it just? Yeah. No, my walrus days are over.
From the city end, once more,
Who's
80
coming
Dan
back?
Mousley.
See, there we go again. More. Dan Mousley's going to continue from the city and more spin. Thank you, Barry. Madsen on strike. Mosley bowls to him and he smashes it into the ground and straight back to the bowler. Mosley has bowled well. 2 overs and 1 ball for 13 runs, so he's only got a run a ball, which in this form of cricket is really good. Now he's lifted it into the offside. There's going to be a catch here. Madsen's going to be out. No, he isn't. The fielder's come in too far. It's gone through him and all the way towards the boundary. He's just about kept it in the far distance. It's Sam Hain. And Madsen gets a life there, really. That was not a regulation catch, but one you see taken regularly.
Strange, because he seemed to stop, didn't he? And then he realised he wasn't there in time for the ball, and obviously it's just dropped in front of him. Fortunate for Madsen, it's gone straight under his body. But
he moves to 57. That's a shot from Tom Wood. He's just taken a step into the leg side and heaved it away to the mid-wicket boundary for 4. 132 for 3. Wood moves on to 15. Madsen has 57.
And Derby are just ticking now. They're just ticking along now. Since Wood's come in, he's at a couple of sweet shots and moved Derby on.
Absolutely terrific shot from Tom Wood. Mosley bowls again, and that isn't such a terrific shot as he puts it straight into his boot. 2 balls left of the Mosley over. 20 runs conceded, 132 for 3. Just 14 balls of this Derbyshire innings left. They made 149 against Northampton. It wasn't enough. Mosley's in again, and this time it's turned around the corner nicely by Tom Wood. There's a big chase on for the fielder away to our left-hand side. He eventually gets there. Looks like Glenn Maxwell. It is Glenn Maxwell, and they come back for 2. 134 for 3. Madsen stretches again. Mosley bowls to Wood, who clubs it down the ground for a single. 1 is all they'll get. 135 for 3 at the end of the over, and 10 off that one as well. So 10 off each of the last 2 overs. Is it going to be enough? Well, we'll find out in due course, of course. As Henry Brooks comes back. See, if you've got a choice between Barry White and what they're called, who do this?
This is Kaiser Chiefs. Kaiser
You'd have
Chiefs.
Barry White
All day long. All day long.
Absolutely.
All day long.
No question about it. Henry Brooks is back. I knew when I started that conversation I couldn't remember the name of the Kaiser Chiefs. It does happen to me a lot, I'm afraid. 135 for 3, then 12 deliveries to go in the innings. I think Birmingham will be pleased, but they'll know that this pitch isn't easy to bat on. Used pitch, as I say, used twice, in fact, on Monday. And Brooks is in to bowl to Wood, who smashes it straight back over his head for a 2-bounce 4. Wow.
What a shot, Fletch. What a shot.
David Griffin put up
it went with some speed off the bat as well. Straight beneath us. Straight as an arrow.
That was struck with some venom by Tom Wood. Terrific blow. See if I can find that stat. I'm sure I can at some point in the next 5 minutes. David Griffin put out. There we go. In goes Brooks and bowls to, that's a wide delivery, and it's signalled wide. In fact, it wasn't just wide of the blue line that's the guide for the umpires, it was wide of the popping crease as well, which is another foot further over. The 2 batsmen out there at the moment hold 2 of the quickest Derbyshire centuries. Wayne Madsen scored a century off 47 balls in 2022 against Durham. That was in the T20, of course.
I can see that
season.
one, Fletch.
And Tom Wood got a century off 55 balls against Nottinghamshire in the Royal London in 2021. So 2 of the top 3 quickest centurions are out there together now. They've put on 46 in 30. Derbyshire have moved up to 140 for 3. Can they get anywhere close to 170? Wood waits. That one is hammered out into the offside for a 2-bounce 4 this time, out to extra cover. Terrific shot from Tom Wood. He moves on to 26. 144 for 3.
Was that no ball as well, Fletch?
It was, you're right. That good spot. Free hit.
Yeah.
Where's he going to put this? I wonder if, just as figure comes to us, the free hit will be being bowled. We've got an update coming up on Radio Derby fairly shortly. The run rate's up to 8 now. And here he goes. Free hit then. Brooks in to bowl to Wood, who hammers it down the ground for a single. Glenn Maxwell does the fielding down at long on. Wood moves to 27. 147 for 3. They can be slightly anticlimactic free hits.
Very much so.
The shot off the no ball, it is. The 50 partnership came up from that boundary in actual fact. 53 from 32 balls these 2 have put on.
Yeah, Wood's just come in and just ignited Derbyshire a little bit, hasn't he, with the pace he set his innings at, really, and he's timed the ball really sweetly since he's joined in the crease.
Big opportunity for Tom Wood in the next few matches, you'd have thought. Madsen waits and Brooks aboard, so that will give me the chance to get this update in for figure. We have Just 10 deliveries left in the Derbyshire innings figure, and Derbyshire are 147 for 3. In fact, make that 151. The ball bounces just inside the boundary rope off the bat of Wayne Madsen, who's got his fourth half century of the season to go along with last night's century. He's on 61. Tom Wood's with him on 27. They've added 57 so far for the fourth wicket off just 33 deliveries. Wood has played really, really nicely. Earlier, Haider Ali made 32, Lewis Rees 14, and Leicester Ploy bowled by Glenn Maxwell for 7. Derbyshire with 9 deliveries to go in their innings, a 151 for 3. Make that 154 for 3. I thought that was going for 6, but it just bounced about an inch inside the boundary rope, the previous delivery, didn't it? That's another 4 for Madsen.
Yeah, I don't think we've got a straighter shot than the one Wood played the over before, but Wayne just caught that really sweetly, straight down the ground. One bounce just inside the boundary rope, and one bounce forward, and then he's just timed that one to perfection as well. Just a cut-through point, and he's moved on to 65 now.
Just wonder what if anybody was watching us there, because we both, as the ball's coming out, we both had to stand up to see whether the ball was going to go over the boundary or not. It just bounced inside. Madsen 65 off 48, 155 for 3 now. He waits as in goes Henry Brooks again, and this time it's slapped out into the offside. It's going to bounce in front of the man on the cover boundary sweeping, and he picks up another single to move to 66 off 49, 156 for 3.
He's some player though, isn't he, Fletcher? The way, incredible.
You're right.
To continue that form throughout the season.
You used the word privilege before, and it is, at the moment, watching Wayne Madsen play white ball cricket is an absolute privilege, because he's in such a rich vein of form.
Yeah.
I'll update the exact number of runs he's got this season during the interval, but far and away the highest score. That one's a loopy delivery, and Tom Wood, stop it. He's absolutely spanked that out towards the extra cover boundary for 6 off the final ball of the Henry Brooks over. 162 for 3 with 6 deliveries to go. I think there were 27 runs off that over. There were 27 runs off the Henry Brooks over, and Henry is a really fine bowler. But he's gone 4 wide, and no ball that was hit for 4. The free hit was smacked down the ground for 1. Wayne Madsen picked up a couple of boundaries before the single, and then a 6 off the last ball of the over. Craig Miles, it looks like, is going to bowl the final over here. So pace on for the final over. This is interesting. We've seen a lot of spin. Mousley still had an over to go. Briggs still had an over. Lintott's got 2, but they've turned to Craig Miles. 2 overs for 16. Can Derbyshire get close to 180? Might be defendable. We'll wait and see. But a big 6 deliveries coming up here for the Derbyshire Falcons. Miles from the city end in and bowls to Wayne Madsen, who misses the ball as he goes for a swing into the leg side. Good start for Miles. That was the commentator's
Great last over for Derbyshire, though having with Wood timing the ball for a 6 over the fireworks you were talking about. What we've come to see tonight.
Yeah. 27 is relatively unusual, even in T20 cricket. Poor old Mark.
Hopefully, for Brooks' sake, Jeff was getting a few more sandwiches as well.
He's just crossed it off his list. Miles in again, and this one is edged over the wicket-keeper by Wayne Madsen for 4 runs. Absolutely nothing Alex Davis can do about that, nothing that Craig Miles can do about that. Madsen moves on to 70. Hasn't got enough time to get another century. He's 166 for 3 with 4 balls to go.
Everything he's touching turns to gold, though, doesn't he? He's even just top edge there, straight over the keeper's head. 4 more runs for him.
I feel sorry for him, really, because every time he tops score, he's wheeled out to do the post-match interview, so he must be running out of things to say.
And that means speaking to you.
Absolutely, yeah. Nobody wants that, as you know. Miles in, bowls to Madsen, dances down the track towards him, pulls it into the leg side. I think there's only one there. There is. They were turning to see if there was a second available, but there wasn't. Madsen moves to 71, 167 for 3. 73 this partnership off just 39 deliveries. Big, strong man, Tom Wood. Bigger and stronger now than he was when he got that rapid century against Notts a few years ago. No stranger to the inside of a gymnasium, I would suggest. And he waits now. 3 deliveries to go. Miles is in and bowls. Oh, there's another big 6 out towards the members' pavilion this time and hits the covers away to our left-hand side. Wood moves to 39. And the Falcons are 173 for 3.
He's just ignited this innings a bit since he's come in, hasn't he? And the sixes, he's timed them to perfection, and that one there, I'm not sure if that was the biggest one of the lot.
That was very impressive from Tom Wood. There's a huge playing area here at the County Ground, as people who've been here will know. The rope is in a little bit in front of the Players' Pavilion away to our left, but everywhere else is right back. Here's Miles, 2 deliveries to go, 173 for 3, bowls to Wood. There's another one, he's pulled it out into the leg side. He's going to be caught on the boundary, and he is caught on the boundary. Tom Wood's terrific innings of 39 off 19 deliveries comes to an end, but he's just about got Derbyshire up to something potentially defendable, really. 173 for 4 now, the Falcons, and a wicket for Craig Miles. Danny Briggs with the catch out in the deep. I always think this is the equivalent, as Matty McKiernan comes in, to the 119.5 minutes substitute who's going to take a penalty in the shootout.
Or swap with the goalkeepers.
He's got no chance here. I mean, he'll swing from the hip, I'm fairly sure, but he's got one delivery.
Come on, Matty, lad, 6 runs.
6 would take them to within 1 of 180, which
defendable.
Potentially defendable, absolutely. I've been watching them too long to fully commit to that kind of thing. Here is Miles then, final ball of the Derbyshire innings. McKiernan turns it around the corner. He'll come back for the second. I've got absolutely no doubt he will come back for the second. Might have to put the dive in. He's been run out. He'll pick up a single though. 174 for 4. For 4. Derbyshire finish on Wayne Madsen. 71 of 52 balls. Matty McKiernan picks up a single as he's dismissed, in fact for 5. What am I talking about? McKiernan was out, wasn't he? He was run out. So Matty McKiernan run out for 1 off 1 delivery. He'll get the first single that was run, but he won't get the second. And that final over went for 11 runs in the end. 12 runs. 174 for 4 at the end of 20 overs. They've just about put themselves in with a shout here, John, I think.
Yeah, of course. They've got something they can defend now after Wood's innings and blasting the sixes around the park. It's give Derby a chance to take the game to Birmingham Bears, really, if they keep the bowling under control and have a good first power play and try and put the pressure on their batsmen.
The key is going to be how they do in the power play. We've seen them struggle in power plays with the ball, certainly in the first couple of matches against Lancashire and against Nottinghamshire, when they conceded in excess of 70 in both of them. They bowled really nicely on this pitch in the power play against Northamptonshire, and then last night against Leicestershire, everything appeared to be under control, and to a large degree it was. But when we return in 10 minutes time or so, Birmingham Bears will need 175 to beat Derbyshire, who are desperate for a second victory of the season. They'll be looking to defend that, and we'll see how they get on in a few minutes' time. In and balls to Reed.
Here we go. Unbelievable shot. Ready, Mascot. That's a terrific catch. They'll take one. Two straight. Two good.
2-6-3, record broken.
Great atmosphere. Concentration. And they are champions once again.
In and balls to Reed. In and balls to Reed.
Terrific catch. They'll take one. Too straight. Too good.
2-6-3. Record broken. Oh, what a catch!
Great atmosphere. Concentration. And they are champions once again.
Griffin, I can tell you that with his 5th consecutive T20 score of 50 or more, he beats his own club record of 4 in a row that he set in 2017. And he also equals the Derbyshire record of 550 plus scores in a season in T20 cricket for Derbyshire, which was set last season by the magnificent Shan Masood, who we will see on Sunday when Derbyshire go and play Yorkshire at Headingley. And I am indebted. I always want to correct my own nonsense. Thank you, Darren Smith. The popping crease is the front line of the crease. The wide line I was referring to is the return crease. You know, I knew it had a name, and popping was the first thing that came into my head. That's the return crease. If any more corrections, you know, just to the usual address. The two opening batsmen are Alex Davis and Moeen Ali, and Mark Watt is going to bowl the first over, which isn't unusual. He often does that, and in fact he did it last night. Bowled really nicely last night, actually, Mark Watt. I've got the scores from the other 3 games in the North Group that are taking place tonight as well, and some interesting scores. 152 for 9 Lancashire made at the Riverside against Durham, who are 42 for 1 in the 5th. Leicestershire made 164 for 8 at Wantage Road, Northampton. The Steelbacks are 34 without loss in the 5th. And Worcestershire made 226 for 5 at Trent Bridge. Notts currently 58 for 1 in the 5th. So a high-scoring game at Trent Bridge, and I can only imagine that the pitch is right next to the stupid stand where Derbyshire are normally forced to play but weren't this year. We were in the middle. I don't think I've ever seen a game in the middle. Alex
Here we go.
Davis, here we go. Can they defend 174? That one's turned into the leg side by Davis. No run, fielded by Zach Chappell, who's in close at mid-wicket. There's a man out on the mid-wicket boundary, sort of square leg, really. That's Tom Wood. And Hayder is out on the long off boundary, far distance, in front of the bar. As this next one is cut away and nicely fielded by Lewis Rees. Doesn't take it cleanly, but manages to get enough on the ball to deflect it towards Matty McKeon and now prevent a run from being taken. 2-dot balls. Mark Watts just telling Tom Wood to get a bit closer to the boundary. You can barely see out there. He's looking right into the sun, is Tom Wood, as Watt bowls. And this one is a horrible shot from Alex Davis. He was trying to pull it into the leg side. It goes straight up to Lears Deploy, who's fielding it deep mid-on. He's been credited with a score, which clearly, with a run, which clearly he hasn't got. They're still 0 for 0.
Don't need to give him any extra ones, Fletch.
Davis this time down the leg side. That will be the first run of the innings. It's signalled wide. So Davis will remain on 0, and it is now 1 without loss. They need to just wave to the umpire, will you? Thank you. Just having a conversation with the scorers through the window. Poor old Jane had put on a run for Davis, so she'll have to go back a little bit.
She did a nice cake earlier, though, didn't she?
Oh yes.
Mint and chocolate.
Yes. She often bakes. She can come back again. I'm not sure it's 2 at the moment. I think it's 1. That one is... Oh, no, they went through for a run on the wide as well, didn't they? So it is 2. It is 2. Apologies. There's no run off this next delivery to Moeen from Mark Watt. Good over so far. 4 deliveries gone. A wide in there. Zaman Khan is warming up. Watt bowls. And that one actually hits Alex Davis on its way through. Davis holds up both arms and apologises to everybody. Mark Watt ran into him, and I think if I was Alex Davis, I'd rather have anybody else on the field running into me than Mark.
It's a bit of a mismatch in terms of size there, then, pair.
I'll say. Last ball of the Mark Watt over then. 2 without loss, the Bears. Can he finish the over? He bowls to Moeen, who pushes it up towards mid-off. It's fielded by Lears Deploy, and a good start.
Nice start from Watt there.
3 without loss after 1.
It's a great start for the Falcons, Mark Watt.
And a great start, according to the announcer, so it must have been quite good.
Just used the better adjective on me.
Yeah, absolutely. So good start from Mark Watt. We're now going to see Zaman Khan. I've enjoyed watching Zaman play
From the racecourse end, please put your
so
hands
far
together.
this season.
Zaman Khan.
He has wheels, as the kids are saying these days. I'm sure the kids aren't saying that, by the way. But yeah, Brennan is watching. What a champion, he says about Wayne Madsen.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. Viggs on Twitter says, struggling with the Derbyshire stream, but I can tell by Fletch Sport and his excitement that Madsen and Wood are having the time of their lives. They were doing all right. So Zaman jumps in the air once, and now he's ready, and he's going to be bowling to Moeen Ali. He's on 1. The Bears are 3 without loss. Zaman is in, down the leg side, wide, built him up too much. How often does that happen? It happens far too regularly to me. That one will go nice in the archive. Build him up, get a wicket first ball, and that'll be there.
You're just
forever.
waiting for that one delivery for it to happen, Fledge.
I'll do it every delivery now. People go, oh, he's quite insightful, Dave Fletcher, isn't he? No, he just says the same thing before every delivery. Moeen waits. In goes Zaman and bowls. Oh, and that one squares him up. That's a terrific stop by Matty McKeon. And out at point, diving to his right-hand side. Good delivery. False shot. Good piece of fielding.
Just got onto Ali a bit quick, didn't it, for him? And great fielding and diving away to his right.
He's got to really pull out all the stops in the field, Matty McKeon, and having replaced Anuj Dal. We'll see him bowl. Anuj Dal was bowling in the warm-up earlier on, so good to see him bowling again after that side strain. Zaman is in again. That was wide of the off stump and signalled wide again. Probably was. Yeah, Zaman knows it as well.
Yeah, he put his hand up straight away. I think he knew it was going to be a wide. It's just with that slingy action, he hasn't quite managed to get it under control at the moment.
Geese. All swans. 3 of them. Marvellous.
Does that mean something?
It means absolutely nothing. It just means there are geese or swans. It goes Zaman and balls. That one is crashed away for 4 by Mowing. 1 bounce into the advertising boards in front of the bar by the old scoreboard. Good shot from Mowing. He's up and running. He's on 5. The Bears are 9 without loss.
Yeah, good shot by Ali there. He just timed it perfectly into the offside, really, and just put a bit of pressure on Corn now after them 2 wides on the 4 in the over.
Because, as usual, Haider is fielding at mid-off to Zaman Khan because Zaman's English isn't, well, I think it's virtually non-existent. And goes Zaman again and bowls to Mowing, who just guides this out into the offside. Again, a good diving stop, this time by Lewis Rees. Single taken. 10 without loss. The Bears. I've got your message, Josh, and I've read it. Which will mean nothing to anybody, but an update will be slightly later than 1:30 on this occasion. 10 without loss then, halfway through the 2nd over. At the end of 2, Derbyshire were 13 without loss. I don't think that really means much either, in all honesty. But they didn't have a double-digit over until the 10th, bowled by Jake Lintop. Derbyshire with the bat, as Zaman is in again and bowls. It's a good delivery, short of a length, and bounces a little bit more than Alex Davis was expecting as he tried to just guide it down over the head of George Scrimshaw. So he'd have to get it quite a long way in the air, down to fine leg, third man rather, but he didn't make contact. And again, Haider, just words of encouragement for his fellow Pakistan international. Haider's English isn't great either, but there is some there. Zaman is in, bowls, that was slapped away into the offside and just over the head of the fielder in the covers. And it's gone away for 4. I think that's Lewis Rees. Might even have clipped his fingers. He's looking at his left hand now. Can't have been far away, and Davis gets away with 1 there. He's on 4, 14 without loss.
I think it just clipped the top of his fingertips, Fletch, and Davies is a bit of a lucky man. I don't think he realised where he was hitting it really, and he's just gone straight over the top of Rees, who couldn't quite jump high enough for it.
He's still feeling his fingers now, is it?
I think it did just clip the top of his fingertips. It would.
I'd have taken a nail off.
Sports people, eh?
Zaman to finish the over, bowls to Davis, who slaps this out into the offside. This is straight to Lewis Rees. He does the fielding, end of the over, 11 from it, 14 without loss at the end of 2. So they're going at 7s. The required rate is 9. And who we're going to see bowl next over from the far end is going to be Zach Chappell, the familiar figure of Zach Chappell with his very impressive hairstyle. It was bowled beautifully. Leading wicket taker in the championship for Derbyshire so far this season. He's done pretty well in the T20 Blast as well. I'm saying he's done pretty well. I'm going to look at his figures here and they'll say something the exact opposite. He's bowled 15 overs. His economy rate is 8.5. 6 wickets, so he's the leading wicket taker in the Blast as well for Derbyshire. So my feeling was absolutely right that he's done pretty well. Big George warming up at short third man, which is no kind of position to field. They usually try and hide somebody at short third man and somebody at short fine leg, and Watts at short fine leg. This one is lifted down the ground by Mowing for 6 into the East Midlands demolition stand, right in the slot, and he barely touched it.
He timed that to perfection, didn't he? It was just a gentle clip, and it just sailed into the crowd down on the far side.
Wow, that was some shot. Then we did a new ball. That's disappeared.
It was just the timing though, wasn't it, Fletch? There was no sling of the arms. It was just caress straight into the air, straight into the stand.
It's gone into somebody's beer or something like that, because it seemed to bounce into the stand, didn't it?
It did.
But it's not coming back for some reason, and
a collector's item for somebody.
The box of balls is being brought on by somebody who looks something like Oliver Hannon Dolby, certainly tall enough to be Oliver Hannon Dolby, who's got the attaché case. think we've got an update coming up now. Here we go. During this lull. Thank you, Figure. Yes, Birmingham are batting now after Derbyshire made 174 for 5, 71 not out. Wayne Madsen, 5 successive scores of 50 or more for Wayne Madsen, and a really important partnership with Tom Wood, who made 39 earlier. Haider Ali was dismissed for 32. We've just seen the ball hit for 6 by Moeen Ali, and it hasn't come back, so they've had to change the ball. He's on 12, Alex Davis is on 4. And after, 13 deliveries, Birmingham are 20 without loss. They need a further 155 to win. They now need 154 as a single is taken. Ball just dabbed down, backward a square into the offside. Tom Wood does the fielding. Moeen moves on to 13, 21 without loss. The lights, which came on earlier, they're not really going to take effect until very close to the finish of the game. The cut-off is 3 minutes before 9:45. That's the time at which they have to be starting the final over. Zach Chappell is in and bowls to Davis, who's hit that one straight in the air. Haider Ali's underneath it, on the edge of the circle and takes the catch. Alex Davis goes. Birmingham lose their first wicket. Davis for 4, 21 for 1.
And Alex Davis goes. Great catch there by Haider Ali. Off the ball.
Just 9 more of them, Fletcher.
They're those catches, though, aren't they? How long were we waiting for it to come down?
Exactly,
and he's underneath it.
Especially with them lights and the sun all shining in your eyes, it's not an easy task. As simple as it looks to some people, it's still not an easy task to do. And like you say, it seemed to be in the air for such a long time. You had to concentrate on it. But the technique was perfect, and Derby have got the first wicket.
I think somebody's been sent to find that ball now. By the look of it, there's one of the 12th men. I can't quite make out who it is from this distance. I don't know why the ball... I'm mystified as to why the ball didn't come back.
It didn't land in one of them 2 blue bins, did it?
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it, if it was in the bin? There's Glenn Maxwell, so it doesn't get any easier for the Derbyshire bowlers. I think it's fair to say he's walking a bit like... Harry Kane. He's got the bib on and he's gone down in the far distance, but that ball, well, it never came back, but this one's okay. Derbyshire have taken a wicket with it. And that's pretty much all that matters. So the new batsman, Glenn Maxwell, and everybody should take a gulp. Played in his 4th game. He's had 3 innings so far. He's only got 49 runs. But his strike rate is up towards 160. So if he does tee off, don't worry too much just yet. 21 for 1. Chappell in and bowls to Maxwell, who just guides that nicely down towards the backward point boundary for a single. Matty McKiernan comes in off the boundary to do the fielding, and the Bears move on to 22 for 1. It's a truism, but only because it's true. If you take wickets in T20 cricket, you're more likely to win matches. Zach Chappell has already gone for a maximum, though, in this over, and the man who's on strike is the one who hit it, Moeen Ali. 7 off the over so far, but 8 off the over so far, and he bowls to Moeen, who clips it into the leg side. There's a slight fumble by Zaman Khan, who's fielding at mid-on. And they go through for another single. 23 for 1 with 1 ball of the 3rd over to go. At the end of 3, Derbyshire were 22 without loss. In comes Chappell. Bowls to Maxwell, who hoiks it into the leg side for a single. Tom Wood does the fielding down a backward square leg. Maxwell moves on to 2. Moeen has 14. And 10 runs off the over. 24 for 1 after 3. So they're going along at 8, and that required rate remains at 9. Chappell will be relatively pleased as he picks up another wicket to further extend his lead at the top of the wicket-taking charts. He has 7. Zaman Khan has 5. Lewis Rees 3. George Scrimshaw has 5 as well. Has been going at 10s, George. Zaman Khan is the most economical, 8.4. Zaman Khan, whose first over went for 11. He's on his way in to bowl to Glenn Maxwell, who just guides this down to third man. That'll be 4.
Nice shot, Fletch.
Get a boundary off the first ball of an over as well. It lifts all the pressure off, doesn't it, really?
He's just let that run off the face of the bat straight down to the third man region, and it's a welcome boundary for the Birmingham Bears. And like you say, it's the same as the previous over. He's put all the pressure on. Khan going for a boundary for his first ball of the over.
Disappointing delivery. It was short enough for Maxwell just to...
Yeah, he just used the pace on the ball, just guided it down, and it was a vacant region down there.
There are a lot of vacant regions in the power play. That's the problem. You can't plug them all. Zaman is in again and bowls to Maxwell. He just guides it out into the offside. Lewis Rees will pick up on the edge of the 30-yard circle, and Maxwell will take a single to move on to 7. The Bears are 29 for 1. Again, Hayder comes across, looks at the scoreboard, grimaces. He's got that much tape on his fingers. I'm surprised he could catch that ball before. He's got index finger on his left hand taped up. Both little fingers have got tape on as well. He's at mid-off to Moeen. Zaman is in and bowls to him, and he pushes this out down towards a wide third man. Matty McKiernan is down there, does the fielding and returns the ball, but not before the batsmen get through for a couple. Nicely fielded by McKiernan, who is very good in the deep. So McKiernan on one side, that's the offside to the left-handed Moeen, and Tom Wood is the man out deep on the leg side. They're both just backward of square. I think that ball's now been returned. It's been popped into Paul Pollard's pocket. So they have found the ball. Well done to Harry Kane. That's saved the club a few quid. Moeen waits. He's on 16 from 10. Short delivery. Pulls it into the leg side and won't get anything from that. It was a quick delivery.
Short. Yeah, it was a short one from Colin there. He just crept up on Ali.
Pulled it straight to Zach Chappell. 31 for 1. Come on, Zam. I wonder if he's ever been called Zam in his life before. Only when he arrived in Derby was he called Zam. He's in again to bowl to Moeen, who just lifts that into the leg side. It's caught by Wayne Madsen. What a big wicket that could be for Derbyshire. Zaman Khan strikes. Moeen Ali's the man out. And the Bears are 31 for 2.
Yeah, massive wicket for Derby. It's Khan's pace, and it's just beat Ali. He's just chipped it straight into Madsen, who just got his fingertips underneath the ball just before it bounced.
It was close, wasn't it?
It was, but you could tell by his reaction he was an honest catch, really, and Ali had no problem with it as he strolls off with those glamorous shoes.
Haven't done him any good tonight. 1-4 and 1-6 in his innings of 16. 31 for 2. Wickets in successive overs in the power play for Derbyshire. And that, well, if the confidence wasn't high after last night.
It's a big wicket for him, isn't it?
Oh, huge. His first game in the competition this season, having just returned from the IPL, that 3-day IPL T20 final, which was blighted by rain. Ben Aitchison, Alex Thompson, Anuj Dal, all on the field as 12th men with drinks and all sorts of stuff. They're making their way off. And Haider Ali's just having a quiet word with Zaman. Same again, son. Whatever that is in Urdu or whichever of the languages they're speaking. I don't think Zaman is an Urdu speaker, actually. Somebody in the office was telling me that he wasn't. He's not an Urdu speaker. He's from the far north of Pakistan, I think.
What language is that then, Fletch?
No idea. I think he's from the Kashmir region. He's in now to the new batsman, who is Sam Hain, who clips that one into the leg side off his pads. Out towards Matty McKiernan. They're going to come back for the second. McKiernan will do the fielding.
Clip that straight off middle stump.
Wayne Madsen had his head in his hands. Good over from Zaman. 2 overs, 1 for 20. 33 for 2 now. 9 off the over. Reenan says game on. From
Big
South
time.
Africa. I think you're right.
Big time.
I think you're right. And here he is. It's the big man with the best moustache in sport.
Change of bowling at the City
George Scrimshaw.
number 9, George Scrimshaw.
He's been down to a couple of games this year at Burton, so I remember meeting him when I was injured at Hillsborough, and he was in the away end. So we had a good conversation about the cricket then, really. So we sat next to each other, and that's how we became friends, really. Talked about cricket and football together.
Burton born, huh?
Couple of beards involved as well, Fletch.
Excellent. That's
Yeah.
what I like to hear. Can't beat a good injury. 33 for 2. Glenn Maxwell on strike as Scrimshaw is in and bowls a swift delivery that's hit back over his head and has gone all the way for 4. If he'd have stayed standing, it will probably hit him about throat high.
And nearly took his head off.
Yes, it was difficult to get out of the way.
Oh,
of
he
it
nearly
in
took the
end.
tash off.
Wow, that was struck well by Glenn Maxwell, who moves to 11. 37 for 2. A return catch would have been something special. And
It's just one of them that if it stuck, it stuck. It was one of those.
Time to lift his hands up, did he really? He's in again. Bowls 2. Maxwell, a short delivery, pulls it into the leg side. That'll be 4 more. Not the start to the over that George Scrimshaw was hoping for. That one went just in front of square on the leg side.
It's just the pace on the ball that George is coming up with, really, and it's easily clipped away to the boundary for another 4.
So you were talking cricket to him and he was talking football to you, presumably. Is that how it worked?
Pretty much. How far the conversation can go after a couple of beers, then yeah. So, no, it was nice, and we've got a friendship ever since, really.
He's a top man.
He's a good lad, George.
Just needs to rein it in a bit here in terms of leaking runs. This delivery is crashed out towards Liz Deploy, dives to his left and pulls off a decent-looking stop. Keeps them down to a single, hurls the ball back in with some anger. And Maxwell moves on to 16, 42 for 2. Derbyshire in the power play finished on 43 for 1. So Birmingham are going to be ahead of that in terms of runs, but have lost one more wicket. Moeen Ali out for 16, Alex Davis for 4. Sam Hain and Glenn Maxwell in together. Then Dan Mosley, Ed Barnard, Chris Benjamin, Henry Brooks, Danny Briggs, Craig Miles and Jake Lintott complete the Birmingham Bears lineup. In comes Scrimshaw, halfway through his first over, and that's a swing and a miss from Hain. Too quick for him. George just gives him a smile and marches back to his mark. It's only when I think you probably see the pace of bowlers more when you side on. So a lot of the spectators who were side on saw some. Zach Chappell was bowling at Trent Bridge in a pre-season game, and I wasn't working. I was just there to watch, and we sat side on. Not a chance. Yeah. And George is another notch up, as is Zaman Khan. He's in now to bowl to Hain. He's bowled him. Yes. Hain took a step into the leg side, and it's clipped the bails. They're off. Hain's gone. The Bears are 42 for 3.
Brilliant ball from Scrimshaw, and that's their 4-man gone. And obviously with 3 wickets down now, Derby's tails are up and pushing towards this victory. But no, a great delivery, especially after having conceded the boundaries earlier in the over, and to come back and take the off stump bail straight off.
Sam Hain. Only the second time he's been out this season. 204 runs, averaging 204, and George has knocked him over. I think we need a new bail as well. He's broken a bail. They're waving frantically towards the ground staff. 3 down in the power play. You know what they say. I've no idea where that stat comes from, but it's a stat of some description. You're in trouble. And Glenn Maxwell just getting a drink there from Oliver Hannon Dolby.
They just look like they're full of confidence, especially after last night's victory. It feels like you can just sense it by the body language of the players out there. They're full of confidence, and taking 3 early wickets is only going to improve that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wickets for Zach Chappell, Zaman Khan and George Scrimshaw. The wickets that fell in the Derbyshire innings, Craig Miles and Henry Brooks, with Glenn Maxwell picking up a couple with his spin. There was a run out in there as well. Wayne Madsen making 71 off 52, the first Derbyshire player to get those 5, or equaling the record of 5 successive scores of 50 or more. George Scrimshaw to Chris Benjamin, the new batsman. He bowls and Benjamin pushes this out into the offside rather uncertainly, straight to Zaman, and that's a really good comeback from George Scrimshaw. As John Brayford was saying, went for 2 boundaries off the first 2 balls, then conceded 1 off the remaining 4 and a wicket. Excellent work from George Scrimshaw, 9 off the over, 42 for 3 after 5. Here's Zach Chappell. I think when you asked me who'd bowl in the power play when we were off air, I think I've got them all right. I've got them all right. Right, come on, John. You're killing me here. I wasn't sure whether George...
Over by over?
No, not quite, no. I wasn't sure whether George had bowled 2 or Zach would bowl 2, but... Yeah. And it's wrong to call players by their first name as well. I know on commentary, but they feel like my family. I'm with them so much in the summer. 42 for 3 then Birmingham. Maxwell on strike. Chappell bowls to him, guides it down to third man. George with a misfield. That short third man. It brings Chris Benjamin back onto strike. Maxwell moves on to 17, 43 for 3. Let's hope he hasn't broken anything on that right hand.
Another wicket here, make it interesting though, Fletch.
He's looking for his teeth. It would, absolutely. Yeah, 4 down in the power play is disastrous for a batting side. It's an incredibly talented lineup, this Birmingham lineup, though. Nobody's taking anything for granted, clearly. Chappell in, bowls to Benjamin, goes for a swing and a miss. Has he got something? He has! He's got something on it, and Benjamin goes, and Birmingham are 4 down inside the power play. A short delivery, angling down leg side, really. Benjamin went for the hook shot, feathered it through to Brooke Guest. It's 43 for 4 now, Birmingham. Wow.
We were just saying a second ago, weren't we? Another wicket would make it interesting, but yeah, another one down, and Derby on fire at the moment.
Zach Chappell with his 2nd wicket. Don't like that, by the way. It's supposed to be amusing, but I'm not sure. I think it's more disrespectful than anything. That's a wicket in each of the last 4 overs. The power play is yet to finish, and the Bears are 43 for 4. They've got a lot of work to do here, but they're more than capable of doing that work. That's the thing. So
we were saying previously, just the body language, you can see the confidence, and the tails are sky high at the moment. And like we said, if we could get another in the power play, which they just have done, it would make it for a real interesting game, no matter how talented the Bears lineup is.
Anuj Dahl is on the field as 12th man. See if I can see across to the dugout and see who's off. Well, the answer to that question is no. So I'll have to try and... Has Wayne gone? He might have done, you know. In comes Chappell and bowls to the new batsman, who's Dan Mousley, and there's a misfield there by Lewis Rees. He just turns around and looks at an old pitch that he's fielding on, not happy with the surface, clearly. That's like the old clearance over the roof of the stand and the bobble. 44 for 4. Aaron Webster knows all about them. Every time we go to an away ground, see, I cleared that stand. The old Adidas stand clearers that he used to wear. It is Wayne Madsen who's not on the field. Oh, and Glenn Maxwell's not happy with something, as Zach Chappell almost gets to his delivery stride.
I was stretching that thigh inside when he was batting a lot, though, wasn't he? So
yes.
I don't know.
No, that would make perfect sense. I can't see Wayne out there. And there's a big game at Headingley coming up as well. Get that cotton wool out. 44 for 4, halfway through over number 6. 3 balls of the power play to go, and Maxwell turns this delivery into the leg side. Zaman Khan loses his cap as he threatened to throw down the stumps.
Very over-exuberant, throw that one by.
He's having a good time, is Zaman. Not as good a time as Zach Chappell. 2 for 12 from the 10 deliveries that he sent down so far. George Scrimshaw, who was 0 for 8 after 2 balls, has got 1 for 9. Chappell in and bowls to Maxwell, who drives but mistimes it straight to Hayder at mid-on. Dot ball. Because Maxwell's got to be quite careful now. Ed Barnard and Henry Brooks, Danny Briggs, Craig Miles and Jake Lintop to come, and all will be capable of holding a bat, but with 131 more runs required, plenty of overs in the bag.
And that required rate's just ticked over 9 as well.
Yes, like that a lot. And they're 4 down, 44 for 4. Maxwell on 17. Chappell bowls to him, and that one is pushed up towards mid-off. He pinches the strike as the ball goes straight to Leas Deploy. The power play is over. 45 for 4. Just 3 runs off the final over of power play. Terrific effort from Zach Chappell. At the same stage, Derbyshire were 43 for 1. It's that 4 in the wickets column that's going to be the major cause for concern for the Birmingham Bears. Maxwell on 18, Mousley on 1, and George is getting another over.
To continue from the City end, number 9, George Scrimshaw.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I've seen them once,
Have you?
I've seen the Chili Peppers.
I
Yes.
don't mind them.
Yeah, I've seen them.
I don't mind.
I've seen them.
I first
Would
heard...
this go on the playlist? This one?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think so. I first heard of them. Ian Gillan was interviewed on the Friday Rock Show, and he was asked about new bands, and he mentioned the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So, former lead singer of Deep Purple for the younger listeners. In comes George Scrimshaw, then bowls to Maxwell. Short delivery over his head, no ball. Yeah, the square leg umpire immediately signalled no ball, and
It was sharp though.
it won't be a free hit, which is the good news because it's not for height. The full toss, no ball, is very much free hit territory, but this isn't. Renan says we have to back ourselves now, we have to. 47 for 4, Maxwell on 18. In comes Scrimshaw, bowls, pulled into the leg side, and that is fielded by Anuj Dal out in the far distance to our left. The sun is pretty much setting now, just a few last remnants on the members' pavilion. And Anuj Dal is not a bad 12th man to have. He is rapid. He's Jamie Vardy rapid. 48 for 4. It's Matty McKinnon warming up on the, or loosening up rather, on the mid-wicket boundary for the left-handed Mosley. Dahl's just been pushed square by George Scrimshaw. 3 men inside the circle on the offside. Akers on the leg. In comes Scrimshaw and bowls. That's turned into the leg side, and Scrimshaw will have to chase it himself. But little does he know that they're only taking a single.
Well fielded, George.
Yeah. Look at the smile on Lewis Reese's face as he taps him on the back, saying you didn't have to do that, you know.
Committed to the cause.
Yeah, it's good to see. Really good to see from George Scrimshaw. 49 for 4. Mosley moves on to 2. Glenn Maxwell, who you think holds the key for Birmingham here, is on 19 off 13. He's hit 3 fours, but they have been slightly becalmed since the latter half, the second half of the 5th over, which was bowled by this man, George Scrimshaw. 1 for 13 off 8. He's in and bowls fuller delivery, and Maxwell turns it into the leg side again. It's just going to be a single. That's where Dahl comes to the fore, raced to that ball to make sure they couldn't get 2. Glenn Maxwell is still playing with a cracked bat at the moment. He did signal for a new bat earlier in the over, and one of the 12th men has now got 3 in his hand on the boundary's edge. He's going to have to wait another couple of deliveries before he can get it. I don't think the umpires will allow, unless the bat's in bits, and we have seen that once this season. They won't allow him to change it now. Scrimshaw into bowl to Mosley, who just gets one on the pads and turns it into the leg side. In fact, he's called for his bat now. I think that's fair enough. Leg by signalled by the umpire. 51 for 4. How many has he got there? 3? Yeah, 3 bats.
Yep.
The old one has been discarded. Still 2 left. I bet he's brought 20 bats to this country in a big bag. That is remarkable. And he won't have paid for one of them, which is even better. That must be nice. 51 for 4. 2 balls left of the Scrimshaw over. He's into bowl to Maxwell, who turns it around the corner, but straight to Zach Chappell. Fielding just down to our left-hand side at long on. 52 for 4. Maxwell moves to 21. This has got all the hallmarks of being a very close encounter. Look at the scores in the other games in the North Group. Durham needs 16 off 23 balls with 7 wickets remaining to beat Lancashire at the Riverside in Chesterland Street. They're going to win that one. Mosley waits. Final ball of the 7th over. Turns it into the leg side. In off the boundary comes Lewis Rees. Single is taken.
Single.
53 for 4 after 7. 8 runs off that over. Good over from George Scrimshaw. What for 16 he's got. Notts need 95 off 31 balls with just 3 wickets remaining to beat Worcestershire at Trent Bridge. So Worcestershire look like they're going to win that one. And the steelbacks against Leicestershire, Northamptonshire need 35 off 30 balls, and they've still got 8 wickets to go. So you would expect Northamptonshire to win that one. Good job I looked at my phone because it's 9 o'clock, and I've got an update coming fairly shortly. Here is Matty McKiernan, bit of leg spin. He'll get through most of his overs this evening. I don't think Derbyshire have as many bowlers as Birmingham had. Northampton, Leicestershire, it doesn't really matter who wins that one from a Derbyshire perspective. McKiernan is in, bowls to Mosley, strikes the pad, appeals for leg before wicket, and Maxwell, set off for a single, is sent back. That will go in the scorebook as a dot ball, but it barely tells the story.
Anything but. Maxwell got halfway down the pitch there.
I don't think Mosley had any intention of running. McKiernan's in again as a reverse sweep attempted by Mosley, and he misses. Bale's whipped off by... sorry, I was just looking at the ball then. The Bales were whipped off by Brooke Guest. The ball was thrown back to Matty McKiernan, missed his head by about a foot. Got to be careful.
Good start from the over from McKeon though. 2 dot balls.
He's a good old Lancastrian, you see. He's on his way in again to bowl to the left-handed Mosley. He clips this into the leg side for a single. Anuj Dal will do the fielding. 54 for 4. The Duckworth Lewis Power, it's not going to rain, but that gives you a good indication. They should be on 73 by this stage. They're on 54. It's the loss of wickets.
That's increased though.
Yeah, that's really counting against them. We're in the 8th over. We're halfway through the 8th over. And McKiernan, for the first time, will be bowling to Glenn Maxwell. The big hitting Australian. The Big Show, as he hates being called. That was his nickname in Australia. And he waits now as McKiernan bowls to him, and he slaps it back down the ground. Not too far away from McKiernan's left hand. It's fielded by Elias Deploy, single taken. Maxwell moves to 22, 55 for 4. 2 balls left of the 8th over. Good start from McKiernan. Going to be bowling to the left-handed Mosley again, who didn't deal with him particularly well at the start of the over, and has crashed this one into the offside and nicely stopped by Zaman Khan.
Excellent fielding from Khan there. The hat's off again as well.
Can't keep that hat on. Update coming up. Well, Birmingham are now 55 for 4 figure. They've lost 4 wickets and they lost them all inside the power play. 56 for 4 at the end of 8 overs. They are. Glenn Maxwell still the big wicket. He's on 22 not out. Dan Mousley is on 5. But good bowling from Zach Chappell, who picked up a couple of wickets. Alex Davis and Chris Benjamin. From George Scrimshaw, who bowled Sam Hain. And from Zaman Khan, who had Moeen Ali caught by Wayne Madsen. He made 16. If they can get Maxwell, they're in with a real shout here. Derbyshire doing well. They made 100 and what did they make? 174 for 5. The Bears are 56 for 4. They need another 119 to win. Start sentences you can't finish, Fletcher. That's just madness. Mark Watt is that was a terrific over, by the way, from Matty McKiernan, just 3 runs from it. So Mark Watt is back from the City end, the Scotland international, bowling to Dan Mosley, who turns it into the first delivery into the leg side. It's fielded there by McKiernan. That will have settled McKiernan right down as well. It's such a difficult art, his leg spin. If it goes wrong, it goes spectacularly wrong. as poor old Matty discovered down at Taunton in the quarter-final last season. But the over he bowled today was very much reminiscent of the bowling he produced in the group stages 12 months ago. What is in, and that is slapped by Maxwell off the back foot straight to McKeon on the edge of the 30-yard circle at cover. Tom Wood and Anuj Dal swap places out on the leg side boundary as the moon is up away to our left-hand side. Maxwell has launched this out into the offside, wide of long off, and it goes further away from Leas Deploy for 4 runs. Maxwell's going to hit some boundaries. He's going to hit some boundaries off the spinners. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He moves to 26, 61 for 4.
Yeah, Derby had just tied him up a little, the couple of overs before that, and like you say, Maxwell, that required rate's just gone nearly to 10 now, so he needs a few boundaries.
Waits now as Watt bowls to him, and he lifts that one down towards long on. One bounce straight to Haider Ali in the green boots. Not quite as garish as Moeen's boots, but garish nonetheless, and Maxwell moves on to 27, 62 for 4. Watt's in the blue boots, as ever. And he's in and bowls to Mosley, who just turns that up towards long on. Fielded by Leas Deploy. He moves to 7, 63 for 4. As many quiet overs in the middle part of the innings as possible will be Derbyshire's aim here. They're not taking wickets. Keep the batsman to singles. Maxwell smashes the ball down the ground, but again, Haider moves to his left and fields. I'm not sure who that throw was to. And it's the end of the over. Maxwell moves on to 28. 64 for 4 after 9. 8 runs off that over. And Derbyshire really slowed the scoring down with only 2 overs have gone for double digits. And since the 4th over, none have. And that is really good bowling. I don't think it's an easy pitch necessarily to bat on. As we said, it's used. So
yeah, it's the Birmingham Bears batter that's just really struggled the last few overs just to get the ball away out to the 30-yard circle, really. And Derby have just put a bit of a squeeze on them over these last couple of overs, really. And like with the required rate at 10.1 now, it's looking a bit more of an ass for the Bears.
McKeon is in and bowls to Maxwell. It comes off an outside edge and goes down to George Scrimshaw at short third man.
But apart from that 4 from Maxwell, they're just dealing in singles at the moment.
Yeah, that suits Derbyshire, doesn't it? Every time they get a single, the required rate goes up. Which is exactly what Derbyshire want. They need 110 more runs to the Birmingham Bears. They're 65 for 4. Oh, that's a swing and a miss from Mosley. He actually stepped a long way into the leg side. It looked like it was pushed through a little bit quicker by McKeon. It went past leg stump and into Brooke Guest's hands. Good delivery. 65 for 4 it remains. He's in again and bowls. And that one is played straight back towards him. He puts in the dive to the left, McKinnon. He can't reach it, and Mosley picks up another single. They move to 8, 66 for 4.
No, but another excellent over so far. McKeon just going 5 runs from his 11 balls at the moment.
Absolutely.
Just putting a real squeeze on the Bears.
66 for 4, halfway through over number 10. McKinnon is in. That one is launched down the ground. It's a catch for Leas Deploy, who takes it, and Maxwell's gone. He's been caught by Leas Deploy for 29, and the Bears are 66 for 5. We haven't got to the halfway stage of their innings yet. They're 5 down, and the big wicket of Glenn Maxwell goes to Matty McKinnon. The Bears are 66 for 5.
Yeah, you can tell by the Derby players' reaction. That's a massive wicket. Maxwell, he was underpinning the innings for the Bears, really, and huge wicket for McKeon. He's deserved that for the way he's bowled, and he's picked up a wicket by just going for the 5 runs. And all the pressure is on the Bears at the moment now, and Derby's tails are sky high.
4 fours for Glenn Maxwell in his 29. A wicket. Well, 5 wickets in the first half of the innings. That's never good for any batting side. Leas Deploy, 3 or 4 yards forward from his position, close to the boundary down below us at long off. Pouched the catch comfortably. Ed Barnard is the new batsman. They've got to start again.
Considering the Bears haven't lost this season, Fletch, Derby have really taken the game to them in this bowling attack, and they've gone after them and been rewarded by picking up the 5 wickets.
It's been a terrific bowling performance. The batting wasn't bad in the second half of the innings either. McKiernan in, bowls 2, Barnard, who just tucks that into the leg side. They'll run 1, they'll only get 1. Zaman in off the boundary. Not only can he bowl quickly, but he throws the ball very hard as well. Not always massively accurately, but he throws it very hard, which stops the batsman from thinking about a second. If I could understand emojis, I'd be laughing, Doiji. That one is turned into the leg side by Mosley for a single. There's Dahl with the fielding. End of the over. Mosley moves on to 9, and it's 68 for 5, 4 runs off that over. Matty McKiernan's bowled 2 overs and taken 1 for 7. I don't think you could possibly ask any more of a leg spinner.
No, and he's put the, like we've said before, just put the pressure on the Bears really, and they've really struggled to game away, and it showed with the Maxwell wicket in the last over really. He's desperately trying to get the ball away to the boundary, and he's just guided one straight to Lewis to Ploy.
Mark Watt to continue from the City end. 2 overs for 11 so far. Ball clipped into the leg side by Dan Mosley. I'll get his name right, so I'm not sure if it's Mosley, Mousley. I should have asked really. 69 for 5. Apologise to the Mousley family, because it isn't Mousley, I'm sure. No, I'm thinking about it too much. I get that in football as well, and all of it. I've gone then. I've completely gone. What to Ed Barnard, who's definitely called Ed Barnard. Oh, tried to sneak it under Barnard's bat there, and he just about slammed it down on it. It's a big puff of dust came up. Ball dribbles out into the leg side. Single taken, 70 for 5.
They're struggling a bit though, the Bears, Fletch.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? We're allowed to be biased on here because the Bears commentators are next door. Apart from the Bears supporters who are watching the stream, of course, and apologies.
I wouldn't like what they're saying about us.
For our glee. Ball clipped into the leg side by Dan Mousley, and he picks up 2. Ball is fielded out there by Matty McKiernan. Can't keep him out of the action at the moment. Mousley moves on to 12. 72 for 5. I find by never saying who we are, they can't find us. Watt in again, bowls. Mosley goes for the little sweep shot round the corner. Lewis Rees will do the fielding, sliding at deep backward square leg. Another 2 runs to Mousley, moves to 14, 74 for 5. Derbyshire at the end of the 11th was 79 for 1. We're in the 11th now, 2 balls to go. Back into the leg side goes Mousley and cuts it out towards cover. And as Dahl on as a substitute for Wayne Madsen does the fielding, no run. Another thing, and you spotted it early, and it really is something that they get through their overs so quickly, the spinners. This next one, he's gone for the reverse, and he's got lucky here. Is there going to be a stop? Terrific effort. Brilliant. From Zaman Khan, stops a boundary. Brilliant effort from Zaman. They get 2 byes in the end. He went for the reverse. He missed it completely. So did Brooke Guest. 76 for 5 at the end of 11. Derbyshire at the same stage, 79 for 1. 8 off that over. But they go through their overs so quickly that you look at the scoreboard, and all of a sudden 3 overs have disappeared from how many you've got left.
And we've noticed in the last 10 minutes that run rate's gone from 9 to 11 in the last 2-3 overs really, and Watt and McKierney have really put the squeeze on really, and getting through the overs so fast. The Bears just can't get the ball away. But like we said with the Derby's innings, it doesn't seem the easiest pitch to get the ball away really. They're struggling to time it a bit.
Old pitch. McKiernan begins a new over. He's lifted out into the offside. That might go all the way for 4. No. And as Dahl's there, picks it up 1 bounce and hurls it back in. Ed Barnard picks up a single, moves to 3, 77 for 5. McKiernan, 2 overs, 1 for 7 at the beginning of this over. Just conceded his first run off the first ball of over number 12. And he's in again. And bowls to Mosley, who cuts that off the stumps and out towards backward point, where it's fielded in the far distance by a fielder who I don't recognise from this distance. That's pathetic, isn't it? It's Zaman Khan out there.
He's everywhere.
He is. I didn't expect to see him there. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. 78 for 5. Ed Barnard back on strike. Cuts this one into the offside. Tom Wood runs past it. They think of coming back for a second. Dahl's there and throws it in. 79 for 5. Run a ball, not much good to Birmingham at this stage. 11.3 the required rate now. 96 runs they require. 79 for 5. McKinnon bowls. It's slapped out into the offside for 4. Good shot from Dan Mousley. He picks up a boundary. It's his first as he moves on to 19 off 21.
Yeah, great shot from Mousley.
3 for 5 it was, wasn't it? Just made a little bit of room for himself by taking a half a step into the leg side. It's the first boundary off McKiernan as well in his third over. He's in now and bowls. Turned into the leg side by Mosley. He wants 2. He's not going to get them because Lears Deploy's coming off the boundary to do the fielding. Single taken. Mosley moves on to 20. 84 for 5. I can barely believe what I'm seeing.
Told you it'd be a good night,
Yeah,
right?
you can come again, John. Anytime. McKinnon bowls. That's swept into the leg side, quite square. Around the boundary comes Zaman Khan. He's got a good throw. Hurls it back in, and the bails are whipped off. I think he's just got back in time, Ed Barnard. Good throw, though, from Zaman Khan. The bails were whipped off by Brooke Guest. They get back for 2. Barnard moves on to 6. 10 off the McKinnon over, which surprises me a little bit. 86 for 5, the Birmingham Bears. And they have 8 overs to go in which to get those 89 runs that they need. And George is back. So this will be his 3rd over. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 16 so far, George Scrimshaw. Yorkshire boys are watching this one. They're not playing this evening. Night off, another night off for Doige up at Radio Leeds. Durham have beaten Lancashire by 6 wickets with 10 balls to spare. Remarkably, up at Chester Street, Northants have beaten Leicestershire by 8 wickets with 7 balls to spare. Scrimshaw is in, bowls a quick delivery. It's hooked around the corner and brilliantly kept in the field of play by Lewis Rees. They come back for 2. Mosley must have thought that was 4 the moment it left his bat. He goes to 22, 88 for 5.
Great stop because that was travelling.
And that's the slight risk, and it was a risk last night against Leicestershire. The pace on the ball,
the risk and reward factor.
You just need a touch on it, and it can fly away. It was the other game in the North Group. Worcestershire have beaten Nottinghamshire by 56 runs. Scrimshaw in, bowls a short delivery, swing and a miss from Dan Mosley, who looks to the square leg umpire and pleads for a no ball, nothing doing, and then sort of shrugs his shoulders. So just to repeat, because I think it bears repetition, Worcestershire have beaten Nottinghamshire by 56 runs at Trent Bridge. They bowled the Outlaws out for 169 in 18 overs and 2 balls, having made 226 for 5. Absolutely remarkable. That game just finished. Here's Scrimshaw to Dan Mosley, 88 for 5. The Bears. Oh, and he goes to pull that into the leg side. It's a slightly slower ball from George Scrimshaw, and he's through the shot before the ball arrives. Terrific bowling from George Scrimshaw. Just waiting for the league table to update. It's taken a while. Lancashire have played 6 matches already. The Burton Albion connection continues. Harry has been in touch. He's on a night out. Should be here. Scrimshaw into Dan Mosley. That's driven, but just to the left of the man. I think that might be Zaman Khan again, who's in extra cover. That's too close for Zaman, really, and it's raced away to the boundary for 4. Mosley moves on to 26. The Bears up to 92 for 5 now. So at the moment, Worcestershire have moved up to 8 points, 4 wins from 4. Durham have got 3 wins from 4. They're on 6. Lancashire have got 3 wins and 3 draws from their 6 games. Somebody told me that they were going to run away with it, but it seems not. Yorkshire with 2 wins from 5. Notts with 2 wins from 5. And in comes George Scrimshaw and bowls. Down the track comes Mosley and bunts it straight up to mid-on, long on really. And it's Lears Deploy who does the fielding. 93 for 5. 82 runs required from 7 overs and 1 ball. So a Derbyshire win would put them in the thick of it, which is absolutely bizarre after their first 3 matches. Defeats to Lancashire and Notts, which perhaps were not unexpected. But then defeat to Northamptonshire here on Monday, which very much was. Scrimshaw to complete his 3rd over. He's in and bowls to Ed Barnard, who goes for the little ramp shot. It goes past the leg stump and through to the wicketkeeper. End of 13 then, 93 for 5. There were just 7 runs off that George Scrimshaw over number 13. At the same stage, Derbyshire were 94 for 2. It's good fun, isn't it? It's good fun.
Getting a bit nerve-wracking now, though.
You've got to battle those nerves.
If no one's ever been down before, it's a great evening out with the family or things. Come watch some great cricket, and hopefully Derby can take us over the line here.
John Brayford from the Derbyshire County Cricket Club Tourist Board. It is a great night. And here's Lewis Rees for the first time with his left arm. Medium pace. He's bowling to Dan Mosley. Bowls, short delivery, pulled into the leg side. Around the boundary goes Tom Wood in the far distance. Slips, and they're going to come back for the second. This is a risky second. Is he out? No, he's got back. Good running from Mosley in the end. It was a slight misfeel in the far distance from Tom Wood. He's got some runs in the bank, having earlier on made a very nice 39 off 19. Can't read my own writing. 95 for 5. Dan Mousley on 29. And goes Rees and bowls. The reverse comes out, hits him in the pad. And Rees runs back. He's been doing
He's running
this.
faster back than he is.
I know, he is, absolutely is. It's remarkable. He shuffles his way back in again and bowls a loopy delivery that's turned down towards fine leg. George Scrimshaw does the fielding. Single taken. Mousley moves up to 30. That's what the partnership's worth as well, off 23 balls, 96 for 5. I can't tell him that, Harry, but I might show him the message. In goes Lewis Rees and bowls. This one is slapped out into the leg side. That might go to the boundary for 4. The dive won't come in the end because it's gone between the 2 fielders out on the leg side boundary. Barnard moves on to 10, and the 100 is up for the Bears. 100 for 5 in the 14th over. Get all sorts of messages here, John. All sorts. You'd be surprised who was listening. I can't understand how Harry's listening if he's on a night out.
I was going to ask you the same question. What kind of night out is it? Yeah.
Exactly. Rees bowls, pulled into the leg side by Barnard, just for a single. Matty McKiernan does the fielding. The lights are clearly taking full effect now as the sun has disappeared, and they're not the brightest, I think it's fair to say. This window isn't tinted, it might be a little bit, but not much. It's becoming harder to see what's happening out there as Rees is in and bowls, pulled violently into the leg side for a 1-bounce 4 by Mousley. Perhaps he's the prize wicket now. He moves on to 34.
He's just ticking, isn't he? He's just ticking. He's just took his strike rate over 100 for the first time, and
12 off that over from Lewis Rees, slightly disappointingly. They're still behind on Duckworth Lewis, but they're getting closer to it. 105 for 5. They need 70 to win now of 36 deliveries. I'm going to get me a bit of paper out in a minute and count down.
just could do a break in this partnership just at the crucial time, couldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Zach Chappell. Yeah, I think they're already behind the Falcons, so we're all right. I thought the music was a bit strange, and I just turned up the radio feed for a moment, but there isn't an update for another 5-6 minutes or more, so we'll have a better idea of how things are going by then. Zach Chappell back then, 2 for 13 from 2 in and bowls. That one is driven for 4 by Ed Barnard. Nice shot out towards extra cover, all the way along the floor. That start to the over for Zach Chappell, and we all start to wonder, what's happening here, but keep the faith. Keep the faith.
That's it, keep the faith.
Got to. We've got hope. What have we got? 66 of 35. Zach Chappell on his way in again and balls down the leg side wide.
Quite a long way wide, that one.
It was a long way wide. 65 required now off 35. It's not It's 11 and 11.3, that kind of area, the required rate. After that boundary for Ed Barnard that took him to 15, his first boundary of his innings. And Mousley's got 3. As John said, his strike rate's only 109. Next delivery on target, turned into the leg side by Ed Barnard. They've run one. Are they going to come back for a second? They are. Good running. Ed Barnard gets back comfortably in the end. And they move on to 112 for 5. This partnership already up to 46 off just 28 deliveries. Chappell 2 for 20 from 2 overs and 2 balls. Mark Watt's got 1 over left. Zaman Khan's got 2. George Scrimshaw just the 1. McKiernan 1 as well, as Chappell is in and bowls. That one is guided down to short third man. Mark Watt fields. Doesn't even throw the ball back to Brooke Guest. Single taken. Barnard to 18, 113 for 5. Last night I was scribbling down all sorts of things. It was such a tense finish as Derbyshire won by 2 runs rather.
I feel like you can have the same issue tonight.
I think you might be right. Yeah. I'm relying on your maths. Is that a good
thing?
That's
a bad thing, relying on Fletcher.
Okay, well,
from Stoke-on-Trent originally.
In comes Chappell, the bowl to Dan Mousley, who gets a full delivery and slaps it up towards long off. It's fielded by Hayder, who just juggles with it a little bit, and they come back for a second. It was a good throw in the end, and he did well to get around.
It's a couple of misfields there.
Yeah, just putting the fielders under pressure, aren't they? With some good running, these two.
They're short between the wickets, and I think that's 3 times now where they've increased it from 1 to 2 runs just by putting pressure on the fielders on the boundary.
The main thing is not to let it go all the way for 4. Which they haven't done so far. The partnership up to 49, 115 for 5. Chappell bowls. This one's launched into the night sky. McKiernan is underneath it and takes the catch. Big
Great
wicket.
Catch.
Dan Mousley's gone for 36. That could be it for Birmingham.
Yeah, and he's so angry with himself. What a catch in the deep by McKiernan.
Absolutely terrific catch.
I thought he just misjudged it just at the end though, and he had to take a standing dive.
I'm hoping it's McKiernan. It is McKiernan. Yeah. Excellent. Jack Chappell has a 3rd wicket. It's 115 for 6. They need 60 off 31. Good innings though from Dan Mousley. 36 off 33. Just went for 1 big shot too many really. Just the 3 4s in that innings. 115 for 6, or as I've just written down here, 1,115 for 6. Danny Briggs, the new batsman. McKiernan's having a night to remember as well. He's bowled really nicely. 3 overs, 1 for 17. Zach Chappell, though, 1 ball of his 3rd over to go. 3 for 23. Coming to me just after girls just want to have fun, I'm told. Who doesn't like Cyndi Lauper? Who doesn't like?
Do you like that one, Fletch?
Not really, no, not really. It's not quite my thing. She's all right for what she is, whatever she is.
And what's that?
Well, it's just a pop singer, isn't she, really? She's got a bit of attitude, I suppose. Here's Zach Chappell bowling to Danny Briggs, the new batsman, and Briggs tries to guide that down to 3rd man, goes underneath his bat and through to Brooke Guest. A magnificent over from Zach Chappell. 115 for 6. He did concede 10, but he picked up the crucial wicket of Dan Mousley. He's now got 3 for 23. So I've got Tina Turner in the headphones and Cyndi Lauper now, and quite frankly that is far too confusing for an old bloke like me.
There's a duet in there somewhere, isn't there?
Absolutely. Blimey. Mark Watt's back, 3 overs to 17 so far. He's going to be bowling to Ed Barnard. He's on 18 from 11. He bowls to Barnard, who slaps the ball into the leg side. That looks like it's been well placed, but Lewis Rees is there. They're going to come back for 2. 58 runs required, 29 balls in which to get them. Whew. 117 for 6. Ed Barnard up to 20 off just 12. Both vastly experienced players, these two. That's down the leg side and signalled wide belatedly by the umpire. 57 to win. That required rate is around 12s. He'll have to bowl that one again, Mark Watt, and he does. And down the track comes Ed Barnard and pushes it out into the offside. The ball is missed by the fielder close in. Oh, there's a mix-up here. There's going to be a run out. Oh, he's missed the stumps, Mark Watt. He's missed the stumps. And Ed Barnard gets back. I think he'd have had him there if he'd have whipped them off the first time.
Such short fielding by Dahl in the deep though, and obviously Watt just missed the stumps with his first attempt to try to take the pails off, and then second time he was obviously not just in time for the run out.
56 needed. And we have 28 balls to go. Update coming up. Mark Watt bowls. That was pushed out into the offside by Danny Briggs. In for a thrilling finish here. Figure Birmingham need 55 more runs for victory, but they're 120 for 6 now. Zach Chappell's having an evening to remember. 3 overs, 3 for 23, including the wicket of Dan Mousley just a few moments ago for 36. He had threatened to take Birmingham close to their victory target, but they need a further 55 runs off 27 deliveries if they're going to win this one. The ball has just been looped up into the air. They come back for 2. The Bears are 122 for 6. They need 53 to win, but Derbyshire would be favourites from here. $122 for 6. I have no idea if that made any sense at all. 53 required. Watt is in and bowls. It turned into a full toss by Ed Barnard. Pushes it out into the offside. And they need 52. 123, 4, 6. 25 deliveries in which to go. I sort of lost count there for a minute. Watt bowls, reverse comes in, it's up in the air. That might go all the way to the boundary. I think it will. It'll bounce and skip on, and it does go for 4. Nice shot by Danny Briggs. 48 required then after the last 4 overs. That's exactly 12 and over. 127 for 6, Barnard up to 20, on 24 and Briggs on 5.
I think we're in for that grandstand finish, Fletch.
I think we might be. Who's going to come? It's George. Here's George again. So they're keeping Zaman Khan back. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 20. An expensive over, 12 runs off that Mark Watt over. George Scrimshaw's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 23. Yes, he's gone for the odd boundary, but my word, his pace has caused the batsman 1 or 2 issues. And Ed Barnard on 24 from 15 is on strike. He bowls a swing and a miss from Ed Barnard, straight through to the keeper. Well, actually, he might have got a bottom edge on it because it seemed to dip quite alarmingly after he swung. Either that or it was a slower ball. Crowd. They're sort of wrapped in the thing about the noise, the extraneous noise of the bugle and all the rest of it is that there is actually out in the middle a very good game of cricket going on, and most of the people inside the ground are glued to the cricket. Here comes Scrimshaw, 127 for 6 bowls. He goes for the scoop, misses it. 2 dot balls to begin the over. They need 48 from 22 now. It just got that little bit harder as the required rate goes above 13 for the first time. And with 6 down, always going to be tricky.
Great start to the over by Scrimshaw.
Yeah. Brooke Guest has just had a little look over his shoulder at the scoreboard, which is away to our right-hand side. He'll see that it says the Bears are 127 for 6. Ed Barnard on 24. Danny Briggs has 5. They need 48 to win. Scrimshaw's in again, bowls, and when he gets something on this, it goes down towards fine leg. Zach Chappell fields. 1 run will be added to the total. 128 for 6. But the required rate continues to climb. 47 off 21. I can feel how cool it is through the open window above us, and I'm now regretting the shorts.
And the flip-flops.
I never regret flip-flops. Except if you're spotted on a screen by your son. 128 for 6, as I was earlier. Out at the toss. In goes Scrimshaw and bowls, and Briggs, well, he can't get anything on that one. That one whistles past his toes. And
Too quick for him.
Absolutely.
Too quick for him.
47 off 20. Now, conversation. I think Haider has just been told by Lias deploy to tell Zaman that he might be bowling soon. Something along those lines. There's some Chinese whispers going on out there. 128 for 6 then. 2 balls of the over left. An over that's cost just 1 run so far. This one's clipped into the leg side. It's aerial. They'll just want to keep it inside the boundary, and they do. Tom Wood actually slips as he gathers the ball, and they come back for 2. Danny Briggs moves on to 7. 130 for 6. They need 45 more now off 19 deliveries. And George Scrimshaw will be delighted, I'm sure, that he won't have to bowl the final over tonight, having bowled the final over last night to defend the Derbyshire total and get them over the line by 2 runs. Scrimshaw in to complete his 4 overs then. This one's up and away. Can Mark Watt catch it? No, he can't. He actually put some kind of dive in.
I'm not sure if he's hurt himself.
He was already limping yesterday. He was limping yesterday. They've gone through for 2, I think. Briggs moves on to 9. Yes, 2 runs and a terrific spell. Yeah, he's getting the acclaim.
He's moving gingerly. Oh,
that's because he's Scottish.
I know that feeling.
That's because he's Scottish. 3 overs to go.
Here we go then. There we go.
18 deliveries.
Zamir's back on.
43 runs required, and Zaman Khan is back. He'll bowl overs 18 and 20. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 20. So if he goes for 10s in his 2 overs, Derbyshire will almost certainly win. They'll need 23 off the other.
Come on, Zaman.
Ed Barnard on strike. Zaman bowls to him, a quick delivery that's pulled into the leg side. Not Mark Watt. Haider Ali gets there. He throws the ball in. Is there going to be a chance of a run out here? I think the bails were actually taken off by Zaman rather than the ball, and they get back for 2. 41 off 17 at 134 for 6. Ed Barnard moves to 27. Danny Briggs has 9 at the other end. That rate continues to climb. It's up to 14.5 now. Zaman in again. Bowls to Ed Barnard, who goes for the little flick. He's appealing for leg before wicket. He's given him. He's appealing for leg before wicket, and he's given him. And it took him a long, long time, the umpire, to raise the hand. And Ed Barnard has gone for 27. Zaman Khan has his 2nd wicket of the evening. And the Birmingham Bears are 134 for 7 now. They need 41 to win from 16 deliveries, and Derbyshire on the brink of what would be a remarkable victory. I didn't think he was going to give that.
No, it took him forever.
It took him forever.
It was in slow motion, I thought.
Remarkable. 27 off 20 for Ed Barnard. 2 4s in there. Nice little innings from him, but Zaman Khan gets his 2nd. 2 for 22 from 2 overs and 2 balls.
He's full of energy though, isn't he, Fletch?
Oh, yeah.
Full of energy.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's really enjoying it out there.
But he's a nightmare to look after.
A nightmare or good fun?
I'm going nightmare. So the new batsman is Henry Brooks, who has batted on this ground for Derbyshire this season in the county championship, and from memory got a few runs. But I couldn't tell you how many off the top of my head, obviously. Again, it's all about the research. Zaman Khan in to bowl to Henry Brooks, and that one is lifted down the ground. Nice looking shot. He might get 2. Haider Ali does the fielding, and it hits the subs, and he's gone. A direct hit from Haider Ali, and Danny Briggs is run out. Wow.
It's a 60-yard throw.
Who'd have thought? Run out, Danny Briggs for 9. They're 35 for 7 as they came back, for 8 rather, as they came back for the 2nd run. A direct hit from Haider Ali, and Derbyshire on the brink.
What a throw, Fletch.
That was bizarre, absolutely bizarre. Danny Briggs, I don't think it ever crossed his mind that he might be run out there. He goes for 9 off 6. 135 for 8. They need 40 off. Don't tell me. 15.
You sure?
No, I'm losing the plot myself here. I wasn't sure, I have to admit, I wasn't sure if 174 for 5 was going to be enough. But they've been absolutely magnificent, the bowlers.
They've been excellent, haven't they? Been excellent. Absolutely excellent.
Chapel 3 for 23. Zaman Khan 2 for 23. Mark Watt 4 overs for 29. George Scrimshaw 4 overs 1 for 28.
They've just stifled them, haven't they?
Yeah, Matty McKiernan 3 overs 1 for 17. Zaman is in to Henry Brooks, who gets a ball that's far, far, far too quick for him. He tries to flick it away and can't. There are 14 deliveries left. The Bears are 8 down. They need 40 to win. Jake Lintott's the new batsman. Just Craig Miles to come after him. Who's that warming up in the far distance? It's Zach Chappell. He's got one more over to go. He'll bowl over number 19 should we get there. Zaman bowls a slower delivery and completely bamboozles Henry Brooks, who was playing about 3 shots there and didn't connect with any of them.
Played at about 3 hours early too.
It was remarkable. 13 balls to go, 40 required, rate up to 18 and a half. And come on, Zam again. I have no idea what that's all about. Zaman Khan bowls to Brooks, who lifts this down the ground. That is a huge, huge 6. Thuds into the sight screen down below us. And well, a little bit of defiance from Henry Brooks. 34 required off 12. Brooks moves on to 7. The Bears 141 for 8 at the end of 18 overs. Despite that 6, just 9 runs off the over. Magnificent from Zaman.
It's 32, Zach Chappell.
And Zach Chappell is back. 3 for 23 already in the bag. Wow. Who'd have thought?
Did you expect this, Fletch?
No. But I don't know what to expect anymore, John, if I'm honest. It's,
but they've been brilliant, though.
Yes, they have.
They've been brilliant.
They have. Wayne Madsen with his 71, Tom Wood with that 39 off 19. Here's Zach Chappell, 3 for 23. He's into bowl to Jake Lintott, swing and a miss.
Yeah, I think Wood really ignited the Derby innings, didn't he, when he came into bat and really got them up to that total.
And he's the man who we're going to be speaking to, I think, unless Zach Chappell picks up the last 2 wickets and takes a 5-foot. That would be my guess. Here comes Chappell again and bowls. It's edged down to a very fine third man for 4 runs by Jake Lintott. He's off the mark. 30 required now of 10. Approximately 3 a ball. 145 for 8. Just puts a little dint in Zach Chappell's figures, but not too big a dint. Bowls the third ball of his over, and how that missed the stumps, I have no idea. There was a swing and a miss from Lintott. That can't have missed the off stump by very much. 9 deliveries to go. So it's Headingley on Sunday rather. Edgbaston next Wednesday, when no doubt the Bears will be seeking revenge. And then a week tonight, the Outlaws here at the County Ground. In comes Chappell and bowls. That was clipped into the leg side. It made a very nice noise off the bat, but
just a single.
It's gone straight to Anuj Dal. 8 balls to go. 29 deliveries. 29 runs to get. 146 for 8. Lintott moves on to 5. Brooks has 7. There's an awful lot on Henry Brooks's shoulders here. He's only faced the 4 deliveries. But that required rate is getting up to the point where they need a boundary every ball. It's 22 at the moment. Chappell on his way and bowls to Brooks, who almost sends a return catch with a slower delivery. He was through the shot too early and almost looped it straight back to Zach Chappell. 7 balls to go, 29 required. They need snookers.
They need more than snookers, Fletch.
Well, if every ball between now and the end goes for 4, Derbyshire win. That's a very, very nice position to be in against a team who went into the match with 4 wins from 4. Next delivery is edged down towards fine third man. Mark Watt put the leap in, but couldn't reach it.
10 out of 10 for the dive, though.
Yes. The earth is still actually shaking. Zach Chappell, 4 overs, 3 for 32. Excellent work from him. 9 off that over. 151 for 8 with 6 balls to go. 25 runs required for victory, and Zaman Khan, who so far has bowled 3 overs, 2 for 29, is going to bowl at a couple of tail enders, and he will be desperate to pick up a couple more wickets to add to his already burgeoning total. Haider Ali is just being sent out to the long on boundary. If Jake Lintott hits one to long on the full, I'll eat my hat. Man out on the point boundary as well. 2 men out on the leg side. Zaman Khan bowls and Jake Lintott. Well, I'm not sure that is a wide, in all honesty. They've gone through for a run as well as the wide because the batsman moved an awful long way into the leg side. Into the offside, rather, to try to play a shot. But anyway, 23 off 6, it brings it down below.
It's not them fours anymore now,
No,
Fletch.
it's not. No, I'm getting slightly concerned now. And Haider Ali's just got some words of encouragement for Zaman Khan. Lewis Deploy is asking the question, and I think he's right to ask the question because...
He stepped right across, didn't he? And I think that Zaman just followed him with the ball.
He was almost on the return crease, as we like to call it. Zaman is in and bowls. That's a swing and a miss. They're going to go through for a single. The ball misses the stumps. Don't throw it at the stumps. He has thrown it at the stumps.
He hit him, luckily.
Yeah, they've gone through for a bye. 153 for 8. 22 required now off 5, so we're back onto the 5-4s. We're all right again, John. 153. This is remarkable from Derbyshire. Absolutely remarkable. On Monday, they lost to Northamptonshire with 2 overs to spare and didn't look like they were ever going to win a game of cricket. 2 matches later, they're knocking Birmingham Bears off the perch at the top of the North Group and getting themselves right back in the fight. Zaman is in again. Bowls to Jake Lintott, hits his pads as it was going down leg side. They go through for a leg bye. 154 for 8, 21 off 4. When we get to the point where they need 6 more than... that's when I'll be really happy.
Well, they've done it at a bit of a canter, really, tonight. And
they have.
The Bears have never really put them under any pressure. Derby have always been in control since they've been bowling, really. And the Bears have never got to the grips for the game.
In goes Zaman again, bowling to Henry Brooks. That's a short delivery. It's reached for outside the off stump. Oh, an excellent work from Zach Chappell, who kicks it away from Manoj Dahl, and they come through for 2. How bizarre. 19 off 3 though, and we've got to that point.
Like I say, they've not necessarily a canter, but the way they've performed in the bowling department after Derbyshire score, they've always been in control of the game, especially taking the early wickets in the power play, and they've just continued with the momentum from there.
That was key, wasn't it? 4 down in the power play. Zaman bowls, short delivery, and Henry Brooks ducks underneath it. He's given up. 2 balls left, 19 required. Derbyshire win, and they're going to register their 2nd win of the season. So 2 balls to go. 19 required. We all know what that means. Henry Brooks on strike on 13. Zaman is in and bowls to him, and he just pushes this out into the offside, and they go through for a single. So 18 off the last ball. Even I know that can't be done. 157 for 8. Zaman Khan 2 for 34 with 1 ball of his 4th over to go. Lewis Deploy has just said something to Zaman. I don't think he understood a word. Zaman Khan in and bowls to Jake. Literally bowls him! And Zaman Khan gets his 3rd wicket of the evening, and the Bears are 157 for 9. Derbyshire win this one by 17 runs. It's a fairly comprehensive victory in the end.
What a way to finish as well.
Brilliant.
What a way to finish.
It's been it's been a strange old game overall. Derbyshire with the victory, of course, which is the main thing. And was it Henry Brooks who was dismissed? No, Jake Lintott for 5.
Just a very controlled performance from Derby in the bowling attack. Very controlled throughout the Bears' innings, really, and the Bears never got ahead of the required rate. And then as soon as Maxwell went, it was just a matter of time, really.
No, That last over went for just 6 runs, 157 for 9 at the end. It's been a strange old game because at the very start, Derbyshire seemed to be going perhaps too slowly. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it took them 7 overs to get to 50. There was 72 for 1 at the halfway stage, and you're thinking, well, and you're absolutely right. Wayne Madsen was magnificent, but that innings from Tom Wood just added that bit of impetus.
It just ignited a bit of energy into the innings, really, and he come in and blasted it around the park, supported by Madsen, who obviously got another half century for the evening.
And then the bowlers took over. Let's look at some of these figures. Zaman Khan, 4 overs, 3 for 34. Zach Chappell, 4 overs, 3 for 32. Wicket apiece for George Scrimshaw, 1 for 28 from his 4 overs. Matty McKiernan bowled beautifully, 3 overs, 1 for 17. Lewis Rees bowled 1 over for 12. Mark Watt bowled 4 overs for 29. They kept getting wickets at crucial times. They get 4 in the power play, another one in the 10th over. And after that, well, Derbyshire were always on top. The players are shaking hands as they go back into the Players' Pavilion away to our left-hand side. I can see the match referee marching out to the middle just to thank the ground staff for all they've done, as one of the pictures that they're clearly going to be using in the near future is immediately covered up by the ground staff. Derbyshire have won this game by 17 runs. I'm just waiting to see if this league table updates. It would be quite useful if it did, but it hasn't so far. Derbyshire will move on to 4 points and may well move above Northampton, potentially not. So I don't think they can do enough to catch Yorkshire. I don't really understand how net run rate is worked out, if I'm entirely honest with you. Let me just run through the Birmingham card. Alex Davis was caught by Haider Ali after bowling of Zach Chappell for 4. Moeen Allen caught Wayne Madsen, bowled Zaman Khan for 16. George Scrimshaw bowled Sam Hain for 2. That was a big wicket. 42 for 3 at that stage in the 5th over. Chris Benjamin caught by Brooke Guest off the bowling of Zach Chappell without scoring. Glenn Maxwell was caught by Lewis Deploy in the deep off Matty McKiernan for 29. Dan Mousley caught by McKiernan off bowling of Chappell for 36. Ed Barnard was trapped late before wicket by Zaman Khan for 27. Danny Briggs was the victim of an outrageous run out with a direct hit from Haider Ali. He made 9, and Jake Lintott, the last man out, bowled by Zaman Khan for 5. Henry Brooks was unbeaten on 14 at the end, but could do nothing to prevent Derbyshire from winning. They won this one by a very impressive 17 runs in the end. The table on the BBC Sport website hasn't updated, so I'm going to have to leave you with that. John, have you enjoyed it?
Been brilliant, Fletch. Thanks for having me.
And when you're back?
As soon as you want me, I'll be back.
Excellent.
I've thoroughly enjoyed this evening,
Excellent.
so thanks for having
I
me.
think we're slightly mob-handed next Friday. Yeah. The next home game is next Friday against the Notts Outlaws, when Dominic Dietrich will be alongside me in the commentary box. And yes, I can barely believe it myself. Martin Williams, he of the Late Show, will be out among the crowd, basically going around talking to people. So if you want to get yourselves on Radio Derby, and let's face it, who doesn't, while it's still there, make sure that you speak to Martin Williams next week. We're back in action on the BBC Sport website and app. That game, incidentally, on all frequencies next Friday. We're back in action on the BBC Sport website and app on Sunday, 11:30 start at Headingley. Derbyshire taking on the Yorkshire Vikings. And then next Wednesday, it's Derbyshire at Birmingham, the Birmingham Bears, in the return match of this fixture. They've now played 5. They've got 2 wins, exactly the same as 5th placed Yorkshire. This North group is shaping up very, very nicely indeed. Derbyshire made 174 for 5 when Madsen, who's being interviewed on the public address system now, made 71, 39 from Tom Wood. And in reply, the Bears 157 for 9, 3 wickets apiece for Zaman Khan and Zach Chappell, 1 each for George Scrimshaw and Matty McKiernan. And no amount of talking has allowed that table to be updated. So we'll say goodbye from the county ground. Hopefully I'll speak to you on Sunday from Headingley. Thanks, John.
And that momentum is so important.